Cox and Noble. Opening bounce. And a good one too. Cox on the way down, flicks it down behind Cousins, immediately attracted a crowd. Whistle and another bounce.
There's some suspicion also that maybe the Eagles will try and flex a bit of muscle this afternoon. Whether they've got the muscle to flex remains to be seen, and it hasn't tended to worry the Saints too much in the past.
Can be embarrassing if you haven't got it there to flex. Bounce alongside the centre circle, as I mentioned, then over the top. Selwood gains about 15 metres into space. Morrison to Cousins, 75 metres out, kicks inside the attacking 50, close to the boundary line. Runs away from Braun and goes out. So the first sortie for the West Coast Eagles. In the last game between these two clubs on this ground, the Saints put the opening 7 goals and got the last 6 as well, en route to a big win. Tossed in. Noble backhands it down to his own advantage, goes after it. And Judd was expecting Baker, and he's got his expectation, not his wish.
No, and Baker, he's hard at it, isn't he?
He's got some scalps too. There's the St Kilda bench, which tells you just how deep their list runs.
Not so young, at 24 years of age these days, Stephen Baker. Been around for a little while now.
I think Juddy only got about 5 possessions on him last time.
He's been durable as well, Baker. He's only missed 1 game in both the 2002 and 2003 seasons. Up to 73 now, originally from South Colac. There's Judd trying to wrench the ball out. Cousins, I think that's his 3rd disposal. Over the top to Fletcher on the left boot. Kicks across the face of the goal. Still in play. Diving on top there is Maguire. Maguire grabbed high, I thought. Umpire said play on. Still a chance here as Gasper on hands and knees. Gets up, keeps going. Now we'll have a bounce in the goal square.
Now the game's a minute and 10 seconds old. I think we can take from that these umpires will let this thing roll along. Now, that is a brave thing to do in your goal square. Maguire diving on the ball, stayed in possession. I think he's lucky.
It isn't it good, though, to see a player going for the ball, being brave. That's what we want to encourage, not these fringe dwellers. Here's Sampi, flicks it out. Matera over the top, tackles. Hayes back from suspension. We'll have another bounce. Scary, do you think that there's this prevalence that we see at the moment of players just holding the ball and going to the ground? There should still be an onus to get rid of the ball and keep it alive.
No question about that. And whilst that was a brave effort by Maguire, you can't hatch a footy either. I'm all in favour of him being pinned for that.
Yep. No chance there. Again, tackling again, coming in from Maguire. St Kilda yet to have a possession. Eagles have had 6.
Cousins and Hayes running together. What a match-up that is.
Bounce on the kick-off line then. Noble knocks it down. Powell. Well, it's pretty untidy in there. Braun tried to put it over his head. Got it to go at the right angle. Hayes beaten by Matera initially. Matera put the body in. Held to him by Hayes, is it? That's the way the umpire sees it. Lenny Hayes playing his 100th today. Put on hold for a couple of weeks. Bounce in the pocket then. The umpire is getting overworked for the moment. Cox directs it down. Oh, gee. Cousins taken down.
I'm not sure where Stephen Baker's got to, but Chris Judd just dropped off the pack. Was on his own there in 50 metres of space. Kaczynski had to push up from half forward to try and get to him.
10th stoppage, so we're on world record pace. Trying to come away, Fisher. Hayes had it and lost it. Cousins got through that time. A clear kick from Cox, knocked across the line, which was something St Kilda were trying to do 2 minutes ago. The opening score.
A rolling scrum, that was for a long time.
It was, and this is the first possession for St Kilda in nearly 4 minutes of football. Out to Del Santo it comes. Where they go, Big Schwartz. Up to half forward, the X-Man, Xavier Clark, takes the mark and plays on straight away. Walks back and forth, runs in and out of trouble. Finally over to Maguire, who slams it on the left boot. Inside 50 it goes. A chance for Milne. Under pressure. There was good play there by Nikoski. The kick was smothered though. Milne will get a second chance. You can't afford to do that, Lorna. Just touched on the line by Nikoski, who saved his own hide and threw for a rush behind. But geez, with the outside of the boot, Henrik Larsson would have been proud of that last night, scoring for Celtic in the only FA Cup that counted.
There was another small game on. Milne's been in terrific form. He kicked 5 last week.
Here's Selwood around the outer side. Close to the boundary line. Staker had it, lost it. Schwarz robbed him of it. Aided by a Shepherd, smothered off the boot by Judd, and it goes out. Wherever the opportunist Milne just needs that half chance. You can see the old protractor in the head. working out the angles and almost got it. John Worsfold works the phone, realizing today is so important for his club. Cox in front, backhands it down. Judd, Del Santo, well done by Judd a couple of times there. Use of the body. Then he won it. Goes again. Chris Judd pulls it back to space, and Jones pushing up from half back, kicks inside the 50. McDougall should mark, and he does. That's what they want to see.
Well, they've got one of the best midfields still in the competition. When you got Fletcher and you got Cousins and Judd and also Kerr, what they need now is some big tall forwards to be able to step up and take some marks. Stake has shown enough, to me anyway, to indicate that he's a player of great promise. And we saw McDougall early in the year in a Wizard Cup game against Collingwood really display some signs, and he's got undoubted talent. He's a rising star, national rising star nominee last year, and John Worsfold will be hoping that he can really, from this point forward, start to make a mark in games of AFL football.
8 goals for the season. McDougall from 35 metres out, 45-degree angle, and he's got it. The first goal of the afternoon.
Well, they've had all of the footy. There's no doubt that the West Coast Eagles have been inside 50, or had their footy, the ball in an attacking dangerous area more so than St Kilda, and that is a good grab from the big man. He's a good size. He kicks the ball well. He moves really well. So he's got all the tools to suggest that he's going to play a player. And kicking goals on Luke Penny is not easy. They say that 3 is the most he's had kicked on him this year.
So first goal to the West Coast Eagles, who are dominating possession at the moment. 15 disposals to just 5. But it's certainly been up in the forward line for the Eagles for most of this game so far, as Fletcher tries to extricate himself from the gang tackling St Kilda team. Once again, Powell and Ball in there, making their presence felt.
Andrew Embley got the big job on Nick Revolt. Revolt has started in the goal square at the moment, expecting to push up at some stage.
By Goldspink. Judd flicks it out beautifully to Cousins, who read it and got into space. Does it beautifully. The skipper burns off Del Santo. Deserves a goal here. Just tried his luck too far. Maguire grabbed him, put him away, and that was a good umpiring decision as well. Noble's clear in the middle of the ground, takes the mark, brushes off the tackle. Long kick inside 50, looking for Gehrig over his head. Here's Milne. Goes to ground. He loves to go to ground and get back up again. Wasn't allowed to do so. Gehrig looking very stiff there at the moment. Maybe those shorts are a size shorter again. Out to Aussie Jones, close on the boundary line, kicks it to the front of the square, looking for Revolt, but getting up and taking a great mark there is Big Dean Cox. 4th touch coming up for the big ruckman.
To the pocket, Fletcher, Embley, charges away, kicks towards the wing, and Sampi was called out of it by Gaspar. So Gaspar with the ball, right centre wing. Eagles lead it by 6 points. Kicks towards the attacking 50, Penny in the best position, dropped it. Fisher to Penny, to midfield with a kick. Cox moments ago in the square, up in midfield now, sweeping hand pass. Embley, Cousins in everything at the moment, 65 metres out, penetrating kick. McDougall is down there, fingertips to it, stayed on his feet. Well done by Penny to Hodgson. They dodge a bullet. Maguire in the back pocket, told to play on, shifts close to the boundary line. Revolt takes the mark. It's up towards the wing. Kicks in that direction. Hamill and Jones. Jones, a big task. Only his 3rd game. Hamill's away. Running towards half forward. Good looking effort too. Gehrig was held. He'll get a free kick.
Gee, it's an interesting one, this one. Both players are involved in this. It's almost a play on call. Both players realise that they're in trouble. Both threw their hands in the air. And I guess that arm is undoubtedly around Fraser Gehrig's neck.
They both released at the same time.
Yeah, and what you can't see, I guess, is Fraser's right arm around the neck of Lynch. So, almost a play on call.
Well, Fraser's got it. Directly in front, 30 metres out. Looking at goal number 37. As at this moment, 3 ahead of Warren Fredray in the race for the Coleman medal. Well, I did it again. Uncanny.
Well, the matchups in that dangerous forward line, they've got Nikoski with Milne, Lynch on Gehrig, Embley on Revolt, Jones on Hamill, Glass, Kazitsky, Morrison, Clark. So they've got a big job ahead of them, the back six, to try and keep the Saints under. You would think about 14 goals would be about the goal they'd set themselves.
So Nikoski brings the ball in. Cox, good play by Hamill, brought it to ground. Xavier Clark looks up and Guerra's on. They were still set up for the kick out. It was a dodgy kick out at best to Cox, who was 1 against 3. And as a result, the turnover has been completed. And this man, who's had such a fantastic season, has kicked 13 goals too. So very good with his shots, Brent Guerra. First touch coming up. Kick 4 last week against Collingwood. Guerra comes in and puts it right through the middle. So the defence let themselves down for the Eagles, and the Saints at the front.
There's a couple in AFL football at the moment, and there's the kick out that Eddie called. There's a great punch back. I mean, that is the value of Aaron Hamill, is that he knew he wasn't the marking option, but he put everything in to getting a fist to the football so it came to the front of the pack. Had that ball spilled over the back, they were in a bit of trouble. The fact that he punched it forward, Clark was in position, that's the expectation. He finds Guerra.
Saints play a point then. 12 and a half minutes from quarter time. Grey day in Melbourne. Not too cold though. Rain could be on the way, and the roof is open. Interesting equation. Ball to Powell. Digs it out of the middle. Kicks inside the 50. Hangs a long time in the air. Kazitsky got fingertips to it. Nikoski comes away. Kicks to midfield. Too much carry for Selwood. Leads back in the race. Could have been held. Still he goes. Worked off it by Del Santo. Well done, Selwood. Took him down. That's holding it.
He impressed against Melbourne, did Selwood. And has got a big job now against Del Santo, who is right up there with the best young players in the competition.
Selwood, 65 metres out then. Staker wants it long. And slipped over, offering a lead. Selwood sets it up about 15 metres from goal. In front, almost pennies. Dropped it again. I'm sure there's a line there. Coming away is Hayes, outside the defensive 50. Revolt. Knocks up, taking marks. He's got another one. Interesting matchup. Embley can jump, he'll need to. Kick down towards the 50. Gehrig was in front, trying to knock away was Lynch. Glass goes in strongly, kept the ball going too. Embley taken high. Yes, he'll get the free.
It is interesting. Embley on Revolt and Kerr on Guerra, which is two of their best midfield players of last year that have been taken deep into defence.
What would that be, Gary? Do you think maybe they're a bit sore? They might be carrying some injuries?
I probably think what they're doing is backing in Judd, Cousins and Fletcher in the middle of the ground. They've got a wealth of midfield talent, so they expect that Revolt and Guerra will get up in the middle of the field at some stage.
Embley goes long up the line. It was a good kick in the end, almost marked by Gasper. Del Santo, they picked it up front and square for the Saints. Selwood again was good. Mark taken by Gasper. Puts the ball out. Braun on the left foot. Kicks it high to the hot spot. McDougall was just edged underneath it. And Penny starting to get sticky fingers now. Kicks it out wide. Has got players on. In fact, the Saints had two players. One of them being Goddard, who came off the bench. They mucked each other up in the end. As a result, another chance for the West Coast Eagles. Hudson up against Matera. Had the size and the strength to put Matera off the ball. Out to Milne, over the line, out of bounds, throw in.
He came on and slipped over, Goddard, at the exact wrong time. James Brayshaw said that it's a bit soft underfoot. Sometimes the decision on the footwear and the sort of soles these players wear,
it's always a bit greasy here, Gary. The grass seems to be sort of slippy, but having said that, with the concrete underneath it, it's hard to wear the screw-ins, they say, for the full match. Chance now for Fletcher. Cuts back onto the right boot. Good kick. That's good football to Gasper. Big Travis Gasper. He's a lump of a lad, Dennis.
They've got a few, haven't they?
Yeah. Shocking kick, though. Try and mark that. Anybody, if you can. Out comes Hudson now. He's ridden into the ground. The ball spills out to Cousins. Cousins having to stretch again was Gasper. This time he slams it on the boot. That's a better kick to the goal. And puts it through. He went to school on himself. Paid dividends.
Well, don't underestimate just how good this goal is. Have a look at the pickup for a man who's about 6'5", 6'6". One hand below his knees, snapped it up, and then was able to kick truly. Sometimes there's one passage of play that sits in your mind, and I wasn't quite sure whether Travis Gasper had that sort of skill and touch. But it's a nice start, and he started this game really well. 4 possessions and 3 marks.
Beautiful control though down by Travis Gaspar, finishing with a goal, and the margin is 5 points. Eagles on top. Rucks go at it. Kaczynski knocks it wide, falling to the ground. It's hand passed on by Baker. Or was it ball? Ball was in there. There's a whistle, and a free kick is going to Hayes. Lenny Hayes, great to see him back. Inside the centre square, wide-eyed, looks inside the attacking 50. Revolt. What a wonderful kick. Intelligent lead. I think you've got to say they were on the same page.
Well, I reckon Lenny Hayes forced Revolt to lead there. There you go. He just started running, just put through the hand out to the right, and when you've got a player as capable as Revolt, well, that's all you need. And it's a terrific understanding the Saints fans are going to enjoy for a long time.
Wonder about that matchup. Embley on Revolt. He comes in from 35 metres. Tight, hits the post. Up very high. So the margin now back to 4 points.
Here he is, Lenny, just pushes, just indicates out there, and sometimes the bloke who kicks the football can dictate where the player leads. Have a look at that kick.
That is a thumper. That is right up to centre wing. Headed on. They've all been watching the FA Cup there by Embley. Selwood kicks it forward. Braun takes it to the boundary line.
There was a mongrel in it. That was the other thing about it. He didn't get it right. He sort of mongreled it. You watch, doesn't spin right at all. I dare say that was off the side of the boot. Escon 70.
Quentin Lynch. Did you hear the thump off the microphone? Thought somebody kicked the microphone. That was the ball. Oh, Judd, that was magnificent from outside 50. Kicks to the spot. Great football. And Cox takes the mark. And Chris Judd. Wow. One hand up. Just hit the pack running. And that is super football. Watch this again. This is just classic ruck roving. And he puts it to the spot. Mightn't have had the spin on it, but doesn't matter. He just floated it up. At times players, Gary, tend to overkick, don't they? Try to kick the Sharon off the ball.
From a forward's point of view, you'd love nothing more than just running into a footy that's not drilled at you.
This man's had the ball in his hand more times than any on the ground so far. Cox, he's had 6 of them.
Ooh.
Ouch.
They've had trouble in the big men department, but so far Cox and Gasper have both started this game really well.
Cox was good last week too.
2 goals, 6 for the season, though. That's not good.
I think Judd is so talented. Maybe that sort of kick is the way Cox likes the ball to come. Here's Jones in the back pocket to Hayes. Jones. Short one is on. Goddard. Little untidy. Braun will come hard. Don't worry about that. Met Hayes. Came off the bit of Del Santo. Well done by Braun, but he's simply outnumbered. Eventually, the Saints will bring it away. Jones got the hand pass to Del Santo, who looks towards the middle, pulls it back. Diving was Maguire. Needed to take it. He did. Now he plays on from the wing. Punishing kick well inside the 50. Plenty of Eagles back there. Revolt takes the half volley. I think he was looking for Guerra. Missed him. It goes to the pocket. Trying to keep it alive down there. Kaczynski didn't. And a boundary throw in.
They're pretty committed, the Eagles. You've got to say that John Worsfold coach teams rarely produce substandard performances. He fires them up, he gets them organised, and just running back the fight of the footy, 2 or 3 Eagles players. So good sign early.
Gehrig from the side, McDougall knocks it down. Hamill's got it now, slips a handball away. Thompson, 40 metres from goal, has a shot. Gehrig going back over the top glass. Did very well.
Just off the interchange bench, Andrew Thompson, a handy player to come on off the bench, and did well in that situation. Glass is an important player for the Eagles.
I like him.
Did a good job on David Deeks 2 weeks ago.
So Nikoski this time goes short. Jones in the back pocket. had the lead on from Kerr, went to the one further afield, which was McDougall. Now Kerr gets his chance. Over the top to McDougall. They're waxing out there at the moment. Up towards half forward, off the hands of the pack. Close to the boundary line. It's Selwood again who kicks in. It's Huston. Just getting them in from 60 metres out, Dennis. They just seem to be hitting the wrong spots at the moment, don't they?
Well, Cox made the point there. He wanted the ball long, but it was attracted to the movement of Philip Matera. And Revolt, another one.
Takes the mark at half-back flank. So Hayes running up the corridor, and he can have a bit of a run now. Out wide is Powell. Beautiful handball. Didn't have to break stride. Guerra wants it in the pocket. Guerra gets it in the pocket.
Well, you talk about the best kicks for goal in the competition, and probably Brad Green right now from Melbourne would be the one that would be the popular choice, along with maybe Matthew Lloyd. But this fella here, Brent Guerra, he has got a magnificent kicking style, kicking action.
14 goals, 2 for the season, Gary.
That would support that argument, Edward. And you have a look at him and you'll find out why.
53 goals, 23 in his career. So Guerra comes in from 45 metres. No, nothing wrong with that one either. Oh. Saints at the front again.
Well, if Peter Road was watching, that'd just bring a tear to his eye. What they got to be very careful, both sides. I guess it's just at the moment they're rolling the dice in the midfield. Not too many hard tags apart from Baker on Judd. But look at this style, uncomplicated. He times the ball absolutely beautifully, and it'd almost be the bloke I'd pick, I reckon, if you had to have someone kick for your life.
Great pickup, Brad Guerra. Margin 2 points. 5 minutes out from quarter time at the Dome. There's the bounce. Kaczynski knocked it down. Judd had it, lost it. Kaczynski came again. Hayes digs it out of the congestion. Del Santo feeds it back. Now an opportunity to move it forward as the kick goes from Baker towards half forward. Well weighted. In fact, it was Maguire. Maguire got the ball to Hamill, and he's marked 40 metres out.
It was a great kick. The carry of the kick and how quickly it travelled was the thing that caught young Jones out. Went over his head, but it was still travelling at speed. Sometimes they might float over your head, but it was still motoring. And, well, this dangerous forward line of the St Kilda side is one that is going to provide headaches for all defences.
Hard man, Aaron Hamill. From 45 metres, he likes it. Back-to-back goals for the Saints.
Well, this is how it happened. The ball here comes out the back to Maguire. You'll see him out with his socks down out the back here he is. Now watch the way he kicks this with such power and depth that it's able to just travel over the back, and he just wasn't able to get into a defensive position, young Jones, so he didn't do a hell of a lot wrong. He's had front position. It was just one of those fantastic kicks.
Three-4 plays 2-2. It's St Kilda by 8 points. Just under 4.5 minutes left in this opening term at the Telstra Dome. The roof open here today. Cousins again gets it out wide to Glass, running onto the ball. Couldn't quite get a hold of it. Stuck his boot out. Thompson to Goddard. Milne. Hayes, who's slotted back in beautifully, hasn't he, Lenny Hayes? On the right boot, look at that, a thumping kick. Front and square was Hamill. Bounced past him, Cox went inside. Hamill's got it back, still got it. Ripunda brings the ball out. Morrison back inside. The handball was behind his man. Put Jones under the hammer. Aussie Jones comes in as well. The Jones boys going at it. Hamill in there again. Clark, little bit of magic on it out to Del Santo. Del Santo's an half forward. There's Gehrig all the way to the square. Gehrig's there. Gehrig's got it. No. Pilots is the umpire. Great play by Embley. Had to beat 2 and did. But still going to come back in. Kaczynski. Handballs to Guerra. Has kicked 2. He's kicked 3. Look at that. Set, shot, snap, whatever you like. Brent Guerra hits the target.
Playing like He's had 3 disposals for 3 goals. That's a great effort by Embley.
Yep. Probably
2 on 1. Rewalt did everything right. But this bloke Guerra, playing like a dual Brownlow medalist at the moment, he just cannot miss. Everything he touches turns to gold. And he was given up by Port Adelaide for next to nothing. I think it was about a 36 or 35 pick in the draft. And he's just on fire.
That was classical.
Oh. Then you've got to ask the question. Daniel Kerr is in the goal square with Brent Guerra. Get him out of there. Get him into the middle.
Margin 14 points. Knocked down by Cox. Off the line, Del Santo, claimed by Selwood. And the umpire will do it again. This time with everybody in. So Kerr finding out it's not easy back in defence.
Not a noted back pocket specialist, I wouldn't have thought. Daniel Kerr sitting in the goal square alongside Brent Guerra.
A good point to the fact I've held him to 3 disposals. Wide of the
39,
pound.
by the way, boys.
There's Powell inside the 50. What with bouncing one was Gehrig held, not according to the umpire. Well, they're under pressure, the Eagles, just outside the 50. Milne has it, about to send it back towards full forward. Nikoski tried to get it out initially. Selwood is down there. Juggled attempt at the mark. Kerr is taken down by Guerra. Whistle. Ball up about 25 metres out.
Well, you don't want to be talk a game down at all, and we won't. I mean, it's so far to go, but gee, the signs are here that St Kilda might just overwhelm the West Coast in a big way.
Hooked down by Cox. Milne puts it around from 20 metres and gets the goal. And it seems Kerr is headed for the interchange bench.
They're just so good, St Kilda. They've just got so many good players. You can analyse the team and the strengths and weaknesses all you like, but they are just a very good side. They've got the most dangerous forward line in the competition because they're strong in the air, they're strong at ground level, they work hard defensively. They've got a terrific midfield and a defence which has perhaps been a bit of a query. Well, they just stand up week after week. Well, they got him out of there, Dennis.
Well, sort of, but they need him on the ball, don't they?
They got him out of there and put him straight to the bench. So he's got the left shoulder heavily strapped, Daniel Kerr. I wonder whether that's hampering him at all.
Saints have kicked the last 4 goals of the game. 2 in fact, the last 3. In fact, those 4 have come in the last 6 minutes of play. So they've really finished off the quarter to go from being 5 points down to 20 points in front. Ball spills out now. Cousins trying hard, keeps possession, gets it out to Fletcher. Fletcher across. Morrison inside 50. This is where they're falling down. Out comes McDougall. Need to get a goal here. Braun worried off the ball by Jones. Look at that. There were blue and gold jumpers everywhere, but Jones had the ball. Ball got it out. Smother. Good play again. McDougall slams it on the boot. There's no one home though. Chip came running for the ball. Hudson was there. Maguire gets it away. Now the Saints can run again. Schwartz just slams it on the boot. Wasn't a good one. Selwood's got back and taken a strong mark.
No, it's 50. That is a 50-metre penalty against Aaron Hamill. And Aaron can look all he likes and hang his head, but he wasn't in the marking contest, Aaron Hamill, and you cannot claim. Watch this. There's the mark. You can't come in and claim a player like that, I'm afraid. And it's straightforward 50 metres.
And umpire Goldspink's not one to miss them.
No, he is not. And they need it. Not much of a 50, it's fair to say.
Yeah, it was a bit short there. But Adam Selwood, who's kicked 1 career goal, it was last week, gets his chance to get it back to 14 points. So it's a very important kick here for the West Coast Eagles. From Sandhurst originally, picked 53 in the 2002 draft. Twin brother at the Brisbane Lions, and Selwood slots it right through. That's a great goal. His 2nd in league football, and the Eagles' 3rd for the afternoon.
Yeah, much needed, no doubt about that. And for those who are wondering why, you can't come from the wrong side of a mark. You can't claim a player at all, but especially you can't come from the wrong side. And Darren Goldspink pinged him, and rightfully so. And Scott McLaren, who umpired on Friday night, finds himself out in the middle of the ground at the moment. Was named as an emergency, I think. Am I right?
Yeah, we might have to check. James Brayshaw might have to see. There's been a late change in the umpiring department. Double pay packet coming back.
Double pay coming for Scott McLaren, who was here on Friday night and finds himself back out in the action. James Brayshaw to find out exactly why for us.
Find out. It'll be interesting.
We'll be the judge of that. Double play. Fletcher out of the middle, inside the 50. Off hands, Kemp in front where a punter from 40 metres launches one just to the right. Behind, so inside the last minute. First half of round 18 last season, the Eagles' outstanding quartet of midfielders had 13 possessions between them. I remember it was like watching the Beatles take a nap, but today the midfield is doing well for them. And that's why they're in this game to a point. You get the feeling that St Kilda could explode at any moment. There's a free kick. It's going to Gaspar. Plays on to Braun. Runs off the wing. Kicks inside the 50. We're a punter. Spoiled by Hutchton. Well played. Jones has got it now. Nothing on up the ground for him. Hutches the back. Gets away. Kicks to the wing. Good hard running by Milne. 35 seconds to play. Revolt. Slips away from Embley. Looks towards the square. Guerra. Offered a dummy lead. Geary's got it. Geary to the middle and Hamill. Clinical. Hamill is 20 metres out and the clock is down to 20.
How good was the kicking from full back pretty much all the way down? Dennis didn't even look like hitting the ground.
That's as good a passage as we've seen for quite a while. Just what that is to Ed is confidence. I mean, the kick from Milne to Vault was exceptional.
Hamill on the siren. Gets his second. And that hurts. The Saints get their sixth. 6-4-40. So 3-3-21. Bear in mind the West Coast Eagles got the opening 2 goals in the term. Brent Guerra, 3 for the quarter. Aaron Hamill 2. And watching that last movement into the forward line, they're so well drilled. Nobody got in anyone else's space. They know what they're doing, the Saints. And that could spell bad news for the Eagles.
Tuesday, an open mic exclusive, The Secrets of Anthony Koutafidis.
I feel bad for Collingwood. I shouldn't be saying that.
Regarded by many as one of the AFL's greats.
Got that freakish ability to be able to do things nobody else can do.
Carlton didn't beat West Coast by a point. Kilda did.
The injury that struck him down in his prime.
You feel cheated? Yeah, I think that's the hardest part, Mike, because I know I hit my best form back then.
And Kouta speaks openly about a tough 2003.
We probably just wanted the game to be over and done with and the season over and done with too.
Open Mic Part 1, Tuesday on Fox Footy Channel.
Sorry, Mick, but your car's cactus.
Fantastic.
Block's cracked.
At last.
Transmission leaks.
You little ripper.
And even if I tighten... Oh, mongrel.
Nectar of the gods.
Mate, you need a new car.
Now we're in business.
Announcing Toyota means business. It's our biggest event of the year, so find any excuse to get unbeatable Toyota value right now.
They really do mean business.
That's me and my new notebook computer. I have to have one. I flexi-rented it so I could get the model I really needed. And I can update it when the next big thing comes along. Flexi-rent, I think it's fantastic.
FlexiRent your complete technology solution with a total price of $95 or more. And receive a bonus Kodak EasyShare digital camera and printer dock priced at $398. Now that's a FlexiRent bonus to smile about. More and more people are flexi-renting. With technology moving so fast, it makes sense. Ask anyone at your nearest Harvey Norman computer store.
In football, if you want to know what goes on behind the scenes, you need to talk to the people who live behind the scenes. And that's where we come in.
I got out there as quickly as I possibly could. It's not that hard, really.
On Living with Footballers, you'll see a different AFL player in a different light each week.
Ever had a facial?
No.
Oh, we cut through the cliches to bring you the man 1 week at a time.
Your most annoying habit?
Flatulence.
Because
If you think being a footballer is tough,
you should try living with one.
Oh, no, don't do that.
Welcome back. Quarter time at the Telstra Dome, and the Saints 6-4-40, 19 points leaders over the West Coast Eagles, who started the quarter in fine fashion, and then Brent Guerra and Aaron Hamill got busy. Stephen Milne also got in on the act for the Eagles. McDougall, Gaspar and Selwood. 19 points to margin. We did see a familiar face out there during the first quarter. An umpire, Scott McLaren, who was here on Friday night, was down and listed as the emergency. Finds himself on centre stage once again. We're wondering why, James Brayshaw.
Well, the reason why is that the umpire, Michael Avon, wearing 27, hyperextended and dislocated his left elbow. This is the situation. He goes to ground. You'll see it at the back. And he is basically able to run. You can see him grabbing it there, but he can't bounce the ball, which is reasonably important for an umpire. So his day's gone, and Scott McLaren will do the rest of the umpiring today.
So we've got a case of Avon not calling now.
Yes, exactly.
Thank you.
Now, what we've
cricket
got...
as well as boundary.
They're working beautifully. Now, we've had both camps quite happy, although Grant Thomas, some of the decision-making coming out of half-back not to his liking, and John Worsfold saying when you get an opportunity against a side of this quality, you've got to make him pay a couple of costly misses in that first term.
Give him a run on the Sunday footy show. He's having a crack at the big boss. I don't know about that. That is two of what is fast becoming one of the most impressive forward lines in recent times. Brett Guerra has got 3 to his name, Stephen Milne 1 and Aaron Hamill 2. There's Ron Evans sitting alongside Rod Butters, the president, and he would be pretty content at the moment.
Evelyn Butters and Andrea Evans, respective wives as well. Great to see them here today.
6-4-3-3, start of the second term at the Dome. Bounce favours Cox. He has to wait for it. Knocks it down. Cousins has been very good. Feeds a hand pass away to Morrison. To Selwood. Like his game. Selwood to Cox. Defensive side of the wing. Looks down towards half forward. Cousin. That's very hard running. He's got the ball at right half forward now. Thinks about going back to the middle. Then a handball. Eventually scrambles a kick towards the 50. Fletcher went down. Del Santo comes away with it. Kicks back towards half forward. Revolt was marked about 65 metres out. Honours the lead from Gehrig. It bounces down in that direction. Gehrig works Lynch off the ball. Very clever. A goal. His first.
You hate the pot champions, Gary, but really that was Cousins' left foot kick around the body was a shocker.
Yeah, tried to do too much, Ed. And ran out of room, ran out of space and turned it over. This is just, he's a fine craftsman down there in that forward line, Fraser Gehrig. He looks pretty nonchalant and just pushes his, it looks like he's not all that tuned in sometimes, but he knows very well what he's doing. And he's on his way to 100 at the moment.
So the margin out to 25 points, 7-4 plays 3-3. And fantastic to see Fraser Gehrig back in action because it's only 18 months ago that it was rumoured that he wouldn't play at all, that his hip injury had just about put him out of business. So he's worked very hard, Fraser Gehrig. Saints go forward again. I tell you what, the next 5 minutes could be very uncomfortable for the Eagles. They could get split wide open here. Clark, too high, says umpire McLaren. The Eagles will take the free kick in the back pocket. It's a really big time coming up. Gehrig stays in the air for a long time. Underneath it was Lynch. It's going to be a two-man battle here. Grabbed off the ball, so Lynch will take the free kick at half-back flank for the West Coast Eagles. Oh, sets it up. Embley gets killed. He'll get the free kick, but ouch. You just don't need those ones sitting there when you know Hamill and Gehrig and these guys are lurking around the place.
Which is a great thing about this forward line as well. They do put a lot of defensive pressure on.
It took Judd to get around Gehrig on that occasion. Back out to a 2-on-1 contest. Almost good mark by Glass. Under pressure. Clark does it well. Grabbed. Stripped of the ball. Kosicki has to beat 3 and does. Out to Clark. Shows the ball. Then kicked his head and his crew. Back to Kosicki. Kicks up towards Revolts. Up he goes. Guerra. Front and square. Slips over. Like a cartoon character. The wheels were going, but he was going nowhere. Well, over about 40 metres out in front of the St Kilda goal.
And that is the other reason why you think that maybe this could get a bit ugly. It's the likes of Kosicki and Luke Ball that still haven't seen much of the footy today. So once everyone's up and going, look out.
Hamill, a half chance. Cousins left it behind. Baker, 45 metres out, lines up and misses. They're scary good, St Kilda. And they get the smell of it. And they've got their nostrils flared just at the moment. It's bad news for the Oppo. In the pocket, Hum. And really now the pressure clamped on these Eagles to get it out of here. Hum. Short, back to the kickoff line, not 15, says the umpire. So Nikoski has to run bouncing. Short to the opposite pocket. Lynch stretches, thought about going. Decides that he better not.
I'd be putting my hoof into it if I could kick it like Quinton Lynch.
Absolutely. Well, he does that. Sends it up towards the wing. Coming up was Penny. Knocked it forward. Noble got a hand pass away. Maguire hugs the boundary line. Close to the boundary. Mills. Seen that move before. Gets past Nikoski. Lines up and kicks a goal. His second. The old shell trick.
I love the look from Lenny Hayes just then as he's walking back to the centre, as he applauds him and just looks at him and a bit of a wry smile. This is the biggest sell of all time. And I think the good thing about it is the young fella that's playing on him, Nikoski, he'll learn from it. Well, if a good player, he will learn from it, because you just cannot buy a dummy like that in AFL footy.
So Milne does what Milne does best, running, balking and nailing the goal. And we're up to a 32-point lead now. As we said, getting dangerous for the West Coast Eagles. Away from home. Cousins needs to kick this and doesn't. Sprays the kick.
You've got to wonder just how good would Ben Cousins be in this side, for example. His work rate is quite phenomenal at times. 9 possessions he's up to.
It's not as if they're hacks the West Coast Eagles, that, Gary. I mean, they're a pretty good side. They've been made look ordinary at the moment.
Yeah, I reckon they're down. They're down at the moment on... well, they're a long way from Kilda, put it that way.
Yep, ball kicks the centre half forward. Kaczynski at the front. Punched away. Plenty of Eagles there. Selwood's been good today. Something to salvage from the first half so far. Schwartz. It's a little bit lost there. Punched forward by Aussie Jones. It comes out to Matera. It's his first kick, I think, for Matera, and he has kicked it too. Doesn't need many. Got one from one.
Phil Matera's got Maxie Hutchton for company this afternoon. We saw a very interesting battle when he had Dustin Fletcher as his opponent a couple of weeks ago. He's an opportunist, Ed. You're absolutely right, and that was just instinct. Banged it onto the boot. Some might say that it was a touch lucky, but he's done it often enough to know that it is just goal sense, and he needs to find a bit of it. Phil Matera in a hurry.
So Philip Matera, 26 goals for the season, coming off 5 last week. So instinctive, intuitive, just put it on the boot. That was very clever. Noble on his knees. Well done by Ball. The slip saved him. Guerra alongside the centre circle, smothered by Hum. Jump taken down, front on by Hayes. A bit of quality there. And the ball up. Staker waiting to come back on. 20 today. It's his birthday. The ruckman, lock up. Slapped out of there by Noble. Sliding in. Hayes to Ball. Clever. Well done by Kerr. Stopped him. Chance for Glass. That was clever too. Paddled it back to the advantage of Fletcher. Selwood, an emerging young player, goes to Judd. Judd looks to the middle. Waits the kick beautifully. Can Hum run onto it? No, it fell short of Hum. Well done by Schwartz. Knocked it away. Guerra. Revolt. How many marks is that? Quite a few, I'd suggest. 55 metres out. 5 so far for Revolt. And he goes to Hamill. They really do have an understanding. They're close friends. And Hamill, as soon as Revolt gets the ball, is on the move.
There's not much a defender can do in that situation. And the ball moving so quick. It looked like it was going to be one of the great kicks from Chris Judd to the middle of the ground. And I guess when you go forward through the middle like that, you have to make sure you find a target. Otherwise, this is the result of a turnover.
Had the roof been closed, it would have been a beauty. Hamill comes in, working it right to left. It's okay. He's got his third.
It's a very good player, Aaron Hamill. His work rate again is a bit like Ben Cousins, but he does it in the forward half of the ground, and for a coach that's a great asset in a player. And have a look at this. He's shaped to go long. Hamill had given a lead. And on that occasion, the player covering him was Lynch. He dropped off him and thought he was going to go long, and it was just a beautiful pass.
Saints have kicked 3 of the 4 goals scored this quarter. Now to a 31-point lead. Biggest margin of the game so far, 32 points. Favour of the Saints. Powell just on the ground for ball. Gets the handball out to Goddard. Goddard over the top. The Saints on the move again. Del Santo to Lenny Hayes. Gee, they're good names, aren't they? Here's Gehrig! Takes the mark and will line up 35 out.
It was Gehrig. It was Kajitsky was also in perfect position to mark this. It's a great kick from Lenny Hayes. You don't have to put it lace out. Look at the work that by Aaron Hamill as well. Just made sure, kept his player back. And as I said, Kajitsky also there.
Fraser doesn't muck around with it.
Caught me on the hop.
Caught everyone on the hop. Kicked the goal. And now has 2 for the quarter in the game.
Well, and what's that for the season now for Big Fraser? He's up around the 30.
Gehrig is now at 38.
38. We are at round 9. By round 11, he could conceivably have 50 goals and be on track for 100, which would be a magnificent return.
And you get the feeling he'll monster sides towards the end of the season. Who are
a bit weary and undermanned.
Daniel Check fouling the boundary line. Fraser Gehrig, the Eagles' leading goal kicker back in 1998 with 38. He's got 38 for the season after that last one. Noble knocks it down. Judd bounced off one, knocked his second, played it pretty well though. Got it to Cox, to Fletcher. Well played, and again bounces off Cox that time. Scrambles a kick towards half forward, and the mark is taken down there by Embley, but the ball is coming back.
Embley's been moved off. Revolt. Glass has replaced him. He's gone forward now, Embley.
So Fletcher pops it out wide. Embley draws a man, goes to Cox, running down towards half forward. Some indecision to kick or hand pass. As a result, kicked it over the head of Braun, and Maguire takes the mark. And the confidence you can see ebbing from these West Coast Eagles. Maguire short. Here's Jones, loves this situation, can do something with it. Revolt on the lead, takes the mark. Here's a classical footballer. Gives it away to Baker. Baker goes looking for Gehrig and finds it. Well, almost. Yes, he did. Yes. A couple of episodes. And passes to Baker.
60 metres out.
Baker goes to the pocket. Milne. Is he pushed to the back? No. Sampy comes away with it. Ashley Sampy goes to Hum. Awkward bouncing ball. Revolt. In a nest of Eagles. Knocked it forward. Down goes Fletcher. Claimed by Del Santo. Revolt's got it. Snaps it across the body. Snapped it too much. Having said that, it was a very good effort nevertheless. So 66 plays 28.
Gee, he is how valuable is Nick Revolt as a footy player. He's one of the hardest matchups in the competition, Nick Revolt.
He's the prototype 2010.
He is. He runs that hard. He's strong in the air. He kicks it beautifully. Works hard defensively. I mean, you couldn't build a better player than him. And he's landed in the Saints' lap right at the time when they're at their strongest. Goddard and Selwood going at it. A couple of good youngsters. Goddard's just got to start to find a bit of the footy. Ball's a bit down at the moment, so they'll set him for Cousins. See if he can just quieten down the champion Eagle skipper.
Good argument for the uncompromised draft, though. Revolt, who came to St Kilda when they were on the bottom of the ladder, when he could easily have been at the premiership-winning Brisbane Lions had there not been almost Supreme Court action taken by some clubs. Up the middle of the ground, taken by Cousins.
The concern is his dad works for Graham Dowley, I think.
His partner in a restaurant with him. And the Lions did sponsor him as a kid, but I don't think he's going anywhere. Not at the moment anyway. Embley around the body. Sampy nearly takes the mark. He drops the chest marks and takes the screamers. McDougall over the top. Oh, good play by Schwartz. He was the only one who really wanted to put his body on the line there and is rewarded. He's now been stripped of the ball. Probably because Hudson came in as the second man in to hold it up, and Goldspeak wasn't going to have any of that. There was good umpiring in the end.
Yeah, it was. Tried to cover it up, didn't he? It looked like he's in a bit of trouble, so Hutchinson jumped on top of him.
So Phil Matera with his second kick has 1 goal on the board. To say this one is an important kick would be stating the bleeding obvious, so we'll say it, because that's the job of commentators. Freeze this quarter 6-0 West Coast way. Two from two to Philip Matera. Gives them some slim hope.
It's a great kick. If nothing else, it is a fantastic kick from over there. Let's have a look at the free kick here. Just pulls it in under him. There. Now, I would have thought Ashley Sampi was the man that was most entitled to that free kick, but nevertheless, couldn't complain with the result. Ashley Sampi would like a kick because he hasn't actually had one at this particular point in time. Just 2 handballs.
2 goals to Philip Matera, 2 wonderful kicks. 10-6, 5-4. 10.5 minutes out from half-time. Noble taps it down. Powell over the top. Jones crashes into the pack. Spills wide. Goddard, number 1 draft pick. The hand pass wide at the mark. Fletcher to Judd. 55 metres out. Look at those little legs pump. And Matera takes the mark. 40 metres out. And on what we've just seen, this should be a soda.
Look, it's a great effort. He hasn't had much opportunity early in this game, Philip Matera. But, gee, when you get in the hands of Chris Judd, if you're a forward, you get on your bike.
I think I can. I know I can. Matera's legs pumping away there, the little fella, moving so quickly. What a force he's been on the forward line for the Eagles. Oh, dear.
And again.
There'll be no check. I have to go home.
They'll be waiting for you at the airport.
That's right.
31 points the difference. St Kilda in front. Just under 10 minutes left in the second term. Aussie Jones, beautiful kick out to Goddard. Defensive 40, runs to the line. Beautiful thumping kick, look at that, up over the wing position, and Maguire just sits there and takes the mark, knocks it on to Del Santo. Del Santo wants the lead, steps around, Judd can go all the way now, kicks it to the hot spot, Fraser's got the sit, that's a free kick, turned his back, looked at the wrong player, Gary gets it. Good umpiring again by Darren Goldspeak. And that is exactly the type of consistency that everyone's crying out for in umpiring. And as a result, Fraser Gehrig lines up for goal number 3 this term.
And it was a set play here too from fullback. They knew exactly what they were doing, St Kilda. They obviously put some work into that. Aussie Jones found Goddard. Goddard banged it long. They were all running onto it. Del Santo, and this is the result.
So Lynch can only watch as the ball sails over his head for the 3rd time this quarter. Another goal to Fraser Gehrig, his 3rd. And the Saints kick away to a 37-point lead.
Well, it was almost clinical in its execution here. Just Nick Del Santo, who's just cruising along beautifully. And yes, that is an absolute correct decision. You cannot take your eyes off the footy and make contact like that. So Fraser Gehrig, 3 goals in the quarter. And the Saints continue on their merry way. It has got the sniff of a spanking about it.
So the margin 37 points now. A lot of problems in that coach's box. 11-6, 5-5. Nothing much they can do to stem the flow. Blake on the ball. Up he goes and taps it down. Judd trying very hard, lacking support on that occasion. Slips it back to Cousins, to Morrison. Staker wants it up wide. Morrison lost it though. Judd out there by Powell. Hamill goes back in the direction of Powell, who left it behind, but the backup considerable. Ball comes in, chips towards goal. That was a bit casual. Trying to hit it through was Fraser. No extra points for that.
We'll laugh as well.
Behind.
But what about the pressure from Hamill? I mean, you're 37 points up, you're cruising along. And Aaron Hamill just chases them down. They get a turnover, then they fumble, then Luke Ball butters up.
And uncharacteristically, the ball missed, really.
Yep.
The put. Baker gets it out to Kaczynski. Loose man everywhere. The X-Man Hamill's on too. He wants to go quickly over the top. Holds up. Rewalder's got away 40 metres from behind. Here he goes. He's got the set and just got underneath the ball on that occasion. Guerra, dangerous. Look at the Eagles players, they just don't know what to do. Over the top to Kerr, twisting and turning, but running back into play. Gully, gone.
Free kick back to Kerr against Guerra. Now, the reason Kerr went back into play was that he had absolutely nothing on up the ground.
So the free kick will be to Kerr, but downfield.
Yep.
Let's see what happened here. Yeah, Guerra just letting him know he's around, testing out that shoulder.
He likes to at least one a game, Brent Guerra.
He does. Sort of the Byron Pickett of the East these days, isn't he? Shoving it back by Embley. Umpire called play on Selwood, who's been a shining light today. Flicks it out the back, but it's picked up by Aussie Jones. Blake twisting and turning, kept his composure. Out to Jones again. Little short pass was on to Maguire, but he went further afield to Hamill. Nudged out of it by Glass, was good football. And the Eagles build something here with 7.5 minutes left in the second term. Cox concedes some ground. Glass concedes the ball. Hamill, they're all lining up now, but the kick was a shot that was over Guerra's head. And a mark has been taken by Staker.
Sends it out wide, chance for the Eagles here. Cousins onto the loose ball, running down towards the attacking 50. Goes for distance. Gaspar will fly from the side, knocked away down there by Penny. Charging in was Embley, kept it alive. Chambers went to ground. Penny left it behind. Judd bounced off a teammate. Gaspar spins around. Some individual brilliance just wide of the mark. Behind. That was very good.
And again, pressure from St Kilda forwards, and of course some embarrassing turnovers. Now let's just watch this set up from full back. They're very well drilled here.
To the middle, Powell squares it, and they've drawn a man. It'll go over the top, and it does. On the outer side, Kaczynski, he got it from Baker. Goes down towards Blake, who's running. Well, it's set for him. Right on the 50, it did not. Down goes McDougall. Staker. So, suddenly the Eagles get the footy, but it's in the back pocket. Over the top to Kerr. What can they muster from here? Kerr, the short half-distance pass. Well done. Morrison's got it. 11-7, plays 5-6. A test of the Eagles' mettle this afternoon. One thing we have learned under John Worsfold, they will stick about. They won't go away, but this team, hard to stick to. St Kilda, the Teflon of the AFL at the moment. Spills wide, taken by Clark. One bounce. Running down towards half-forward, his second bounce. Some heavy work off the ball, and the Eagles will get it. Chambers put down. It was over 5 metres away, and I think, well, maybe it wasn't, but it was high. So that's the right call.
And just wondering whether the book's been pulled out here, boys. I think you'll find that Kaczynski, umpire McLaren, has put Justin Kaczynski in the book, and that is not great news. He's only just come back from a layoff, courtesy of the tribunal. Any contact, head high.
We'll have a look at it again. I think there might have been a bit of shoulder, then head. Working as his advocate at this early stage of proceedings.
Nevertheless, I mean, he's just got to be careful, the big fellow. You can, it's clumsy if you do go shoulder, then
let's have a look here.
Well, he's been up already once, hasn't he, this year?
It's not a good look. You need a really good look at it slow, but you just don't give any opportunity for accidents like that. Go to the waist, go to the shoulder.
Probably didn't need to go at all.
No. The shoulder to the head didn't save Anthony Rocker, of course, in preliminary final week last year. So it's an interesting one. It has worked in the past, the going off the shoulder to the head defence.
They're just going to take away that element of doubt.
Throw in. He was reaching, of course. Knocked forward by Webb Hunter. Chance for Sampi, put the hand out, went back in after again. That was good football, knocked it out wide. Morrison out to Kerr. Kerr, who's been quiet today, relishing, I think, being out of that back pocket, or for a moment anyway. Hayes, long kick. Two Eagles. Jones into the centre of the ground. Webb Hunter, who's a thumping kick, gets it. Guerra runs him down. Always under pressure, the West Coast Eagles. Now the ball up to half-forward again, a half volley take for Selwood, unable to do so. Webb Hunter has to put a bit of influence on the game. Unable to, because Kaczynski takes it from the line, will have a throw in at half-forward flank for the Eagles, who I can't recall having an easy possession in the last 10 minutes.
No, it's been one of the more impressive things. They are coasting and going beautifully, the Saints, but gee whiz, are they working hard, but they haven't got the footy.
it's only round 9, but there's a message here for a full-strength Brisbane Lions, I'd suggest. Over the football, Sampi does well. Could have been taken high. Tried to sell that to umpire McLaren. Nothing doing. And we'll have a ball up.
And you also know that they rise to the occasion too. They're not being overly challenged at the moment, St Kilda. So their attack on the opposition is admirable.
Selwood almost spent as he came off. This is Baker. Shuffles away. Kicks it up towards the wing. Guerra from behind. Well done by Hum. Knocked it down to Braun. Goes after it. Hum back to Braun. Well worked. Braun's away. 65 metres out. Sets it up high. Hudson from the side. Got up. Shuttled attempt at the mark. Almost a team mark down there. In trouble was Embley. On his knees. Hudson to Penny. Now ball deep in the back pocket. Can kick well with either foot. Came round on his left side that time. Went to Maguire. Maguire goes short. The same can't be said of him. He put it out of bounds on the full. Not convincing with the left peg.
Luke Ball's been moved on to Chris Judd now. That was 1 and 3 in the draft, or 2 and 3.
And they played together at Sandringham, did they not? Off hands. Here's a chance for Matera. Still Matera. Well done. In trouble, Gaspar. Braun. Well picked up at the finish. Not equal to the earlier good work, and he sprays it.
Football's equivalent of a young Tim Dolker and Lara going at it.
Yep, and a lot of mutual respect. They've even got the same agent.
Yes.
Ugh.
Very popular man he is too.
Yeah.
Here's Kerr. Kerr straightens up. Just hooks it. He's down on confidence, Kerr, at the moment, isn't he, Dennis? Is there anything? We don't hear a lot of West Coast Eagles news over here at times, but normally, I mean, you just know that Kerr 2 years ago would have put that one straight through.
Well, even maybe last week. I think the first quarter may have done him in.
We're working defensively as well as attacking at the moment, psychologically at least, as it comes out to Schwartz. At the ball. Ball handballs further afield to Powell. Powell now right up the middle of the Telstra Dome. Up to that man Guerra, and Revolt comes out. Couldn't quite get there. Full-chested at it.
Great.
Picked up by Hamill. Look at the strength through the trap as he got the ball away. Hayes to Revolt. Lines up from 48 metres out from goal. Garrick is there. Doesn't matter. He's kicked at Revolt. That's his first.
Well, get a bit embarrassed when you keep going over the top on players, but Revolt's a star, and Aaron Hamill's another of my favourites. He set that goal up because he went down low in traffic and took the ball cleanly. Now, Nick Revolt finished it as we've come to expect, but Brent Staker had run off and attacked. There was a 50-50 ball, and Aaron Hamill's clean take under pressure meant that Staker was badly caught out.
Biggest margin of the day. It's out to 42 points now. 12-7, 5-7. Got the feeling there was a bit of a rally there from the Eagles, but that hurt going the other way. 2.5 minutes till half time. One down by Kazetsky. It was on report. Hayes again, so clever with the hands. Running forward, it's ball. Kicks inside the 50. It bounces close to the boundary line, then goes out.
It's just out of sorts a bit, Luke Ball, yet he still had 11 possessions, which is...
So that means 9 in this term, doesn't it?
It's not bad, yeah, exactly. It's not bad when you're having a bit of an off day and you're still racked up 11 before half time.
He's wearing his mum's tennis socks, though. Look at those.
Thrown in. Knocked down by Cox. Taken away by Staker. High up and under towards the wing. Penny, who's been in good form.
Another one on the noggin.
That's right. They've been practicing now. Opportunity behind there. Juggled attempt by Chambers. Chick went down. Kerr to Morrison. Great handball. Morrison can run inside the 50. Can he finish? It's tight. It's good. Dispersed.
The point about John Worsfold coach teams, Dennis, is really important, that they rarely get blasted out of the water. I think out of a respect for their coach, or just the way that he has them drilled, they will keep giving everything they've got. The thing about this is they haven't been horrible. They've just been overwhelmed by a side who are in really good touch. Chad Morrison returning to the team this week. First game back for a while.
Chad Morrison with his first goal of the season, with 1:54 left on the clock. It's 6 goals the difference. St Kilda leading the West Coast Eagles. Judd out of the centre. Big play here for the Eagles. They have to get one. It spills to Wipunda. Just couldn't get away. The defence of St Kilda too strong. Jones's kick around the body was magnificent to ball. Ball up the line to Thompson. And that was strength, courage and skill all wrapped up into one player in Thompson. Up it goes now to Hamill. To the other end, they're going to make them pay straight away, St Kilda. Hamill around the body. Puts it high up in the air. Still a play here. Look at Mills just waiting for it to hit the ground. Now it does. A big thump though over the line and out of bounds. Throw in.
Well, Aaron Hamill's few mistakes. Should have been first time give to Brent Guerra. There was scooting past. This is a great mark by Andrew Thompson. Everyone's contributing on this side. Comes off the bench.
That is a beauty, that one, isn't it?
Doesn't let his teammates down.
After the boundary throw in, Hamill anxious to make amends. Digs it out of there. Taken by Baker from 55 metres out. Sets it up. Hamill at bounce. Revolt. Guerra. The moments ago should have got a goal. Now he's got 4 anyway.
Yeah, the finish is clinical, but the take by Revolt and the give, again, is just absolute top shelf stuff. Have a look at this take. Clean hands, sign of a good player. Bang, bang, gone. We know how deadly he is on the left, Guerra. So it's all on display here for the Saints. They supporters would be having a marvellous afternoon. Just being treated to a bit of a clinic.
So 54 seconds left on the clock. Brent Guerra has 4. Gehrig and Hamill 3 apiece. So the big guns up forward for the Saints firing. And of course, Rewald in there amongst them as well. He's kicked 1 goal too, but set up about 3 or 4 others. Chance again for the Eagles. They desperately need one before the half-time bell. 37 seconds away, and the clock keeps a ticking.
13 goals and a half a footy. Fantastic return, as we've come to expect. When you looked at this game beforehand, you just knew that Johnny Worsfold and his coaching staff are going to have their hands full with this powerful St Kilda forward line.
Stewie Lowe in the coach's box today with the Saints. Sampi coming down to 10 seconds. Last foray for the Eagles. Just slapped it on the boot. There's a chance for Staker. Staker's got it forward and they're going to get a shot on goal. Cox, after the siren, will line up. And this to make the margin 6 goals if you can kick this one. 42 points the difference as we speak. So a vital kick.
If his earlier efforts were anything to go on, he wouldn't be overly confident right about now.
Missed a sitter.
He's been good though, hasn't he?
He has, yeah, my word.
He did miss a sitter early in the first quarter. Only 20 metres out. This time he'll kick from 40, so he'll have to kick through the ball. He's kicked 2 goals, 6 for the season. So vital kick coming up for Dean Cox and the West Coast Eagles. And the same thing happened as his earlier attempt. Just pulled through the ball. No line at all. Through for a behind, and that sums it up for the Eagles at half-time here at the Telstra Dome, where it is St Kilda leading by 41 points at the main break. 13-7-85. Lead the West Coast Eagles 6-8-44.
Last week, a big rap for a promising blue.
Carl Norman, the sky's the limit if his feet are on the ground.
Russell Robertson on that Sampi mark.
I'm too bulky, too big in the butt, mate, to jump that high.
And Tony Shaw on Collingwood's recruiting.
It's 8 years since I think the club has gone out and got a star across the line, a superstar.
Join me Monday night as Wayne Schwass and Collingwood's Josh Fraser stop by to take your calls live. Catch the fever. That's White Line Fever, 7:30 Eastern.
Take the chill off the season with Harvey Norman's hot heating buys. Save a massive $150 on the Dimplex freestanding electric log fire. A real charmer with its baby stove design. Now $249. Gold Air's single electric blanket will keep you warm. So will the hot price, just $29. And this column heater from Heatwave is a bargain buy at $59. For the full range of this season's hottest heating solutions, hurry into Harvey Norman, the heating specialist, now.
Harvey Norman, go!
Out of the way, I'll show you how it's done. Marlon!
Oh, Macca. Put some effort into it, mate. So this is how it's done, is it, Macca?
Don't miss this week's show. It's going to be huge.
Yes, Dipper and his friends are joining us for some sensational challenges.
Hey, kids, who do you think will win?
Let the games begin on Odds Kicking Around right here on Fox Footy Channel.
Start of the second half, 13-7, 6-8. Saints on top. The Eagles with a bit of a mountain to climb. Kazitsky goes up, knocks it down. Jaddu's tried hard, digs it out of the middle, goes to half forward. Hudson takes the juggled mark, plays on, puts it to space, bounced obligingly for Hayes, spots Thompson, he'd peeled off Fletcher. He's marked down towards left half forward, penetrating kick inside the 50, balls in front, Lynch punched away, Greer up. That is 6 kicks for 5 goals.
Just picking up where we left off in the first half, Brent Guerra. He did it 3 times in the first quarter down that end of the Telstra Dome, down to the Coventry end, and this is just a quality crumb. Not sure, Lynch, that's probably a lack of confidence or just being under siege, but he could not have provided Guerra with a better crumb, front and square. Just onto the left foot. Movement aplenty in the forward line. It is the key to all good forwards, and they are moving everywhere down there.
He's the best pick 39 in the draft for a fair while.
Ooh, what a pickup, eh?
Wow. Centre bounce. Thompson throws it out. Powell. Staker. In the back. Should be a free kick to the Saints, and it will be. And Ball will take the free kick. Ridden into the ground by Staker. Ball chips it into the middle of the ground. Thompson, they just get away so quickly. Here's Revolt out on the lead. Almost did a miraculous job in holding on to that. He'll get a second go at it though. Revolt taken to the ground by Chick. Hamill, look at that, just kept his hands. There's Revolt again. Inside, Maxie Hutchton kicks a goal for the Saints. It's becoming a rout.
Well, take me back there and hammer on it. Have a look at this. 1, 2, keeps his one hand, if you don't mind, while he did a tumble turn. Rewalt could have had the shot, but I think he quite liked the idea of Max Hutchton just running from fullback with Phil Matera trailing in, so I just thought he'd whip it over and rub it in. And it's great to see. Very, very popular man is Max Hutchton, and he's come back from that nasty shoulder injury, but then has not missed a beat.
It was quite telling and great for morale. Revolt saw who it was. It was the defender Hudson, so quite easily he could have kicked the goal, but he just wanted to give it to his mate. Back in the middle then, Kazitsky knocks it down. Cousins tracks it. Morrison on the angle grabs it, kicks it out towards the wing. Jones leads in the race. Bounced obligingly for Braun. Forward of the wing, kicks inside the 50. Eagles need a goal. Could have been hanging on down there. Gaspar, I think, will get the free. He will against Penny.
Well, Luke Penny has also been a star of this resurgence in Kilda. Let's not downplay his importance. Now, we saw one go the way of Fraser Gehrig in the first quarter that was very, very much 50-50, and that one wasn't that far away from it either.
Thomas Gaspar directly in front. Should be a mere formality. Comes in and makes it so. His second.
Well, I guess there's a further indication that there's not a hell of a lot more they can do. Is that their big fellas, Travis Gaspar has been okay, Dean Cox has been okay, McDougall's probably been disappointing, but they've sort of stood up for them, and Judd's had plenty of the footy. Cousins keeps getting plenty of footy, so Chad Fletcher's had plenty of the footy, so I'm not sure where else they can expect some improvement at the moment. That's the worrying side.
Margin 47 points. 2 goals to 1 in the opening 4 minutes of play here to the St Kilda side. Out of the centre, Cousins. Onto the left boot, thumping kick up the full forward again. Good play by Penny, just stuck the 4 up at the right moment. Hodgson concedes the behind. Like Gasper is in good position again. But Penny did well. Kick out from Aussie Jones was magnificent. Right out to the half back flank position. Ball has it.
Been very good at that all day. The Saints kicking back in from a point.
Ball just chips up the line to Hamill.
Oh,
look at that.
Well, he left. He kicked that almost before Rewald had led. So that again is that understanding.
Rewald goes up the line again, looking for Gehrig. Comes out. Stumped over the line and out of bounds by Nikoski.
That's twice now. Lynch didn't want to mark before. Nikoski that time, so the confidence at a very low ebb. And it says something about the information going in from other players around them. That invariably cuts out when you get a margin like this.
Throw in, half-forward flank for the Saints. Kazitsky doing the ruck work and the roving. Handballs into the hot spot, hoping. Good play though by Cousins. Just edged Thompson underneath the ball, then cleared it. The race is on now. Chick off the ground. Del Santo, Chick again, goes after his own ball, knocks it out. Oh, beautiful tackle, Del Santo, pinned the arm. Umpire let it go. Milne trying to find a bit of space out. The Guerrero kick a goal from there. Got it inside 50. Morrison squeezes the kick. Unfortunately, it's squeezed out. The X-Man's running past Kazitsky. Doesn't need him. He decides to go for the goal himself. And misses to the near side.
Brent Guerrero. Yep. He has every right to give Justin Kazitsky a good old-fashioned bake. He was on his own, 25 metres out from goal.
He had the X-Man running past on the overlap. Guerrero short because he decided to kick a goal himself. Got the behind.
A Guerrero bake. Sounds exotic. Asian barbecue. Ball comes in. High ball towards the wing. Revolt had it knocked away by Cox. Goes back after it. Went to ground. Found Jones. Jones to the middle. Well-weighted kick. Thompson missed it though. Bounds the call. Embley, Cousins trying very hard to lift his team. Across half-back. Sends it high towards half-forward. Staker edged under it. Well, he claimed the mark and it's by. Well, I would have thought Maguire got a bit of that, but Staker's got the football. He was playing in front. Well done. Tries to honour the lead. Coming across on the angle in front of Gaspard and knock it away down there was Kazitsky. It's picked up by Jones. Comes to Goddard on the wing. Draws a man into the path of Revolt. He's 75 metres out. Ignores Hamill this time. Pulls it back towards the middle. Loose ball about 20 metres out. To Lynch. He breaks away. Good kick coming out. Embley. That's better. Braun running towards half forward. Towards the pocket. Gaspar. Could have been held. He's going to get the free. Play on's the call. Scooting away. Philip Matera deep in the pocket. Oh, terrific. DeZampi.
Well, it's a good decision. I wasn't sure whether the advantage was there when you got Matera running to the boundary line. That was a set shot there. But when you see him wheel around, he's that tight, you wonder if that's an advantage. But that is a great decision to go into Ashley Sampi. He's had a very quiet afternoon.
Matera thought it was a good decision. He was off and running.
Maybe that comes into it, the IQ of the player. Although, it can be on dangerous ground sometimes. Sampi comes in and gets his first.
Nick Revolt coming from the ground now. Would not imagine that would be as a result of that poor kick inside 50, because if it is, that is the hardest pass mask.
Well, Kazitsky and Revolt both off, so...
is Kazitsky off as well?
Yeah.
Maybe it is. Maybe it's a bit of a sign, a bit of a, not glairising, but just a sign from the coach, Grant Thomas, because he had Hamill short and the kick was ordinary, so still it's harsh, but... Carson Kaczynski on the interchange bench just having a word, and also Nick Revolt, who, well, could it be because the kick wasn't that great going in or the decision wasn't good to go to Hamill? Either way, they've got two of the big guns on the bench at the moment.
So the Eagles, for the first time today, put back-to-back goals on the board to trail by 41 points. There he is.
He's had 16 possessions. He's taken 8 marks. He's put inside 66 times. He's kicked 1 goal, 2. He's set up 3 others. He's made a blue and he's off.
Yep. Fair enough.
Hard school.
Yeah. Okay. Here's the X-Man. X for exciting. I didn't do that well in spelling, but you know what I mean. Look at this.
Oh, gee.
You know what I mean.
Yes. I just wonder sometimes if Rewalt and Hamill and Gehrig and Milne weren't there, whether he might get more of it, Xavier Clark, and we might be singing his praises even louder. Because look at this for composure. It's just great to watch. Great to watch. They can keep all these boys together. A very rosy future.
I think it was X marks the spot. 2-step goal, if you don't mind. Just went back inboard and popped it through. Cox down to Cousins. He's been terrific, Cousins.
Just to top off what's been a pretty fair afternoon, I'd just love to see Brendan Goddard start to get a bit more of the footy. I reckon he's about the only one who might be just below where he's been last year.
I can hear the chorus now from Western Australia. Please, no, not this afternoon. One of the packets, Hayes. Hand passes back to Thompson. Thompson, there he is, Goddard, as if on cue. 60 metres out, swings it around. In front, Gehrig on his tip. You've done this.
A pretty fair kick too, Ryan. It was a fair kick, and no, we're not being disrespectful to the Western Australian viewers or supporters of the Eagles either, because St Kilda have handed out a few of these pastings to, well, Brisbane Lions. They touched Essendon up and Geelong as well, so they're not discriminatory.
No. Fraser Gehrig going at his 4th, and he's got it.
Fraser Gehrig sometimes looks like he's about 38 years old with the way he moves, but it's so deceptive because on the lead, on a quick lead, he's lightning, and this was a really good kick. He brought that back across and around his body, and he's done that a couple of times now, Fraser. Taking him one grab's just a bit too easy. He just adds a degree of difficulty. He's now got 4 for the afternoon.
So the biggest margin of the afternoon, 53 points the difference here at the Dome, Telstra Dome. The Saints on the rampage have kicked 4 goals to 2 this quarter. Ozzie Jones off half back. Just went round in circles, no one even grabbed him. To Hudson, who had time to fumble and then go after it. His kick was a good one though, up the line. Blake ran out of bounds.
I think that was the right call. That's right down in front of us. He should have stopped, shouldn't he, when he took the mark?
Yeah, just fumble. Jeez, I tell you what, I don't know if the ball went out or not. Doesn't matter. The umpire said it did.
Hey, Burra-Punda's an interesting one, sitting on the interchange bench. He thought he would have been a pretty fair matchup for Brent Guerra.
So throw in. Close enough to half forward flank for the Saints. Judd in the traffic. Slams it on the boot. Up towards Sampi and Schwartz. Sampi knocks it forward. Good play. Chambers got it out to Hum. Hum to centre half forward, finds Matera out on the lead. Gasper one-on-one in the square. Sampi wider still. That's where he goes. And Ashley Sampi, who kicked one of the West Coast Eagles' 2 goals this term, marks. They'll need to kick it 45 metres on a reasonably tough angle.
Some credit to Schwartz too, who's played on Ashley Sampi. We've seen Sampi have some very good afternoons of football and evenings. He's done a pretty good job.
So Sampi, who has kicked 20 goals, 5 for the season, and 53-24 in his career. Lining up, kicked 1 last week. The reverse angle shot gives you the best seat in the house. Beautiful kick of the goal. Sampi gets his second for the term.
Philip Matera has, well, you've got to admire him. You take your hat off. He's kicked a couple of goals. He's set that one up. He's got Max Hutchison as his opponent. His team's getting a bit of a pasting, but he's still able to have some sort of an influence. And also Chris Judd too. He wins footy where it needs to be won, in close, in tight, contested situations.
High-profile St Kilda bench. Ashley Sampi, 2 goals in this term now, wearing number 28. Chris Lewis, who did 7 against the Saints. Round 22 of 87, of course, Sampi's hero. Well, he took the number. Over the top, Blake, Wirapunda into the action. Chick's got it now, taken down, ball jarred out, kicked forward by the Saints. They have been practicing. Hamill took up the mush that time. Well worked, Jones to Wirapunda, out wide to Cox. Scrambles a kick down towards half forward. Jones in front, great acceleration. He decided halfway through that little chapter there to make his move on the football and just zipped away. And look at that finish. Powell inside the centre square. Not quite the same with that one. In front, Jones springs to his feet, plays on, spotted Wirapunda, but the whistle has sounded.
He wasn't behind the mark.
Gee whiz.
Apparently, that's what you could mark and play on.
Well, I thought you could too. Anyway, Jones has got the football. That's the good thing about AFL football these weeks. There's a new rule every week. Kerr inside the centre square. Well done, Cousins. Good shepherd. Judd drives inside the 50. Schwarz in front though. High ball to Matera. Low percentage play. You'll pardon the pun.
So Schwarz looks up, nothing coming, so he goes a bit further. Now he wants Hamill. That's where the kick goes, out in front of Hamill over the line, out of bounds. James Brayshaw is boundary side.
Yeah, interesting stuff on the St Kilda bench. Kazitsky's had the right groin and quad worked on now for a good 5 or so minutes. Lee Fisher, the interesting one, sitting behind with the tracksuit and the rug. We've asked the St Kilda staff. They swear there's nothing wrong with him, but it doesn't look to me like he's going to be out there anytime soon.
Okay. Fletcher out of the pack for the West Coast Eagles. Up towards Staker, he got a bad bounce. Maguire got it off to Schwarz. Back to Maguire. Twisting and turning with strength. Now he tumbles one forward. The kicking forward hasn't been that flash in the last 10 minutes for St Kilda. That was great play by Guerra. He made a pass, there was no doubt about it, for his teammate, but good play by the Eagles defence. Braun from the back pocket or half-back flank up towards centre wing. All up, no one down for St Kilda. Jones versus Sampi. Jones has been fantastic. His disposal has been wonderful. You'll get another crack at it here. Look at that. 15-metre handle off the left side. Inside to Baker, to Hayes, who opens it right up. Away go the Saints again. Big Blake goes to his captain. Now he goes to Gehrig in the pocket. Pushing and shoving. Gehrig keeps his feet, tries to flick it out. Now Hamill comes in. He's hit high. Umpire says play on. McDougall flicks it out. Chambers is in there. Hard at the ball, Del Santo. He's held up. Will have a bounce right on the 50-metre line.
And Aaron Hamill, understandably not happy. He's got to get his head ripped off his shoulders before he gets the free kick, Aaron Hamill. And the other one is Fraser Gehrig. Lynch is playing on him now. Now, in desperation, Lynch is just mauling him, grabbing him in every opportunity. Umpires need to be aware of that.
Bounce on the 50. Blake knocks it down. Powell somehow got through. 60 metres from goal, pulls it back towards the middle, running back with a flight. A bit of chance down there for Ball. Still Ball. Was he taken high? Play goes on. Ball on his knees. Tries to get it out. Hum cleverly to Morrison, running out of space. Great admiration for Cousins. Keeps on working. Nikoski up towards the wing. Staker on his chest. Looks to the middle. Braun needs to be told. The first thing that breaks down in footy matches is communication. And that time nobody told Braun that Lenny Hayes was bearing down, and bearing down he was. Like my son going to a buffet table. Del Santo has missed.
Good on the Sir Dizzy.
It's a fantastic tackle, and it's been arguably one of the most impressive things of the day is the way that the Saints have chased them down and tackled and pressured regardless of the scoreline. Look, I just want to make the point on Fraser Gehrig. It doesn't matter what the score is. Umpires have got to pay free kicks when they see them. And the treatment he has had at the hands of Lynch in the past 5 minutes, it's been disgraceful. And the fact that none of the umpires have pulled it up have been very good today, I have to say, but just not on.
A lot of sympathy with you there from the West Coast as the ball comes up to Blake. You did right, though.
I'm sure sometimes subconsciously they look at it and go, look, we could pin him there. But
Fletcher under enormous pressure to Kerr, who just slaps it on the boot and hopes up towards Sampi over the line and out of bounds.
5 Eagles around Fletcher there, and I was just looking at them and they were all mute.
You go into your show. As you said, Dennis, it's exactly what happens.
Throw in for the Eagles. McDougall up high. Braun this time does it well. Picks it up one-handed. Balks. Blind turns. Kicks up to the hot spot, but there's no one there. It's too high. Hudson took one out.
He got the judo shot.
Hudson to Del Santo. Thumping kick always. He sets it up for Xavier Clark, who flies. Morrison just moved on him. Saints want an intentional out of bounds. They want everything.
Would you like some mustard on that? It's getting a bit that way, isn't it?
Wasn't the highest percentage leap from Clark, that is, from Maxie Hutchinson.
Yeah. Starting to show off a bit, the boys. Why not? Kozetski down towards half forward. Jones in front. Out of bounds.
So I reckon Aaron Hamill plays too much differently whether they're 10 up or 10 down. He only knows one way. I'm not sure that is the percentage play.
Boundary throw in, 60 metres out from goal. A couple of players already off the ground for doing the wrong thing. Grant Thomas has done a wonderful job with his team, and possibly he's about to get his recognition. Have another ball up. I think there was a reluctance maybe to give him his due, but this team is exciting.
There certainly was no reluctance of giving a backhander. He got plenty for a long time.
He did. Up goes Kozetski, knocked it down. Look at Hamill, charges the pack, emerges with the football. Thompson, the beneficiary, lines up, deserving of a goal, but he's missed. It's out of bounds in the opposite pocket. Well, he is a tough man, Hamill. He just charged through.
You'd love to play footy with Aaron Hamill. And Daniel Chick, when he's on, can play in a similar vein, but obviously being out for 4 weeks, going to take a couple of, at least another week before he finds some touch.
Cousins at defensive 45, coming up to 5.5 minutes left in his third term. Saints leading by 48 points. Lynch, Wipunda, Chambers on centre wing, kicks to the forward 50, looking for Gaspar. Almost Matera on the chest. Judd's in amongst it, will have a bounce. Forward 40 for the West Coast Eagles side. Oops, Max has got plenty of blood there.
How would you reckon if Max ran into James Hurd?
Nothing left.
They can invent an injury, can't they?
You just wouldn't come to the footy if you were his insurance agent, would you?
No, they'd
you
be
would stay home.
But it tends to happen, the blokes that go at the footy home.
There it is, look at this. Oh, he got kicked friendly fire.
From Luke Penny.
Yeah.
But then it happens to the brave ones. And Max is brave, and there's none braver than James Hurd, so we're not suggesting for a second there's any other reason than bad luck, but boy, gee, can they find a way to get a new injury?
That one he copped in the pre-season in the Wizard Cup when he went back. I think it was Scott Welsh coming up to take a mark.
Yeah.
As courageous as you would see. I mean, just doesn't even think about it, does he?
And didn't really have the expectation of him going in that situation would have been next to nothing.
Yep, absolutely.
And absolutely stiff there to cop the stop in the eye. James Brayshaw.
Yes, the other player just to come from the ground, Ed, is Ben Cousins, the Eagles captain, who's come off out of sheer exhaustion. So he's going to walk the lines for a sec, Maxie down to the rooms probably to get a stitch.
Ran himself rugged. He has, Ben Cousins, 18 possessions. Not a bad replacement. So he's strolled back on for Max Hutchinson. A nice little mismatch too with Chad Morrison at the moment, Nick Revolt.
Kazitsky knocked it out. So boundary throw in 4.5 minutes out from three-quarter time. 111 plays 63.
Straight to the square, Revolt. Fraser, out you go. I've got a short fella.
Tossed in. Kazitsky beaten by McDougall. Ball helped on its way by Chambers. Close to the boundary line, Embley started in defence, pulls it back. Good looking effort too. They compete about 10 metres out. Off hands and across the line for a behind.
Well, Cousins having a spell, Judd's having his spell at full forward effectively, or in the forward pocket. So Ben Cousins, a bit like Aaron Hamill, only knows one way. Really puts in a bad game.
From half back, kicks it towards half forward. Hamill worked under the football. Getting back is Jones. Getting a good education this afternoon. Embley to Hum. Sends it very high. Wirrapunda comes with the run. Reaches over the top. Couldn't hang on. Del Santo fought his way through that. Well played. The kick not so flash. Embley. Knees up. Stolen off his boot out there by Thompson. The hand pass over the top from Goddard. Kicked in by Powell. Hangs a long time in the air. Crunched down there. I think it was Hamill who went to ground. Revolt roves the pack. Minon in the middle. Pulls it around the corner. And Kazitsky has it 25 metres out.
Fraser it was that ended up going down in that pack. He got a full-on assault from, I think it was McDougall, you'll see there. Bang. Down he goes. But look at him lining up here. Straight back on the ground. Another assist to Nick Revolt. So just keeps racking him up.
Kazitsky. Question of accuracy here. As the clock continues to run down to three-quarter time. Puts it through. They're 18th.
Well, I'm running out of things to say about this St Kilda team. I will say about the Eagles just for a second is that you couldn't say they've been smashed out of the water.
They haven't stopped trying.
No, it's not like they haven't stopped having a go. It's just they've been overwhelmed as Fraser Gehrig comes to the interchange bench as a result of that last clash. Why wouldn't you be smiling if you're the president of the Saints?
So 53 points the margin again. As Fraser, who got that knock there, Fraser Gehrig. Oh, he got more than a knock there. He's got a bit of claret coming out of the bugle. So Fraser Gehrig doing a bit of a patch up on the bench. Not sure if it'll affect his modelling career. As Thompson kicks it inside the 50. Just inside it is. Kazitsky and Rewalt, the number 1 and 2 draft picks back in 2000. That was the reward for a wooden spoon for St Kilda.
And this is the reward for making the Telstra Dome home. Won their past 8 by an average of 43 points.
Thompson tries to get it out as another go at it. Comes back to Jones. Oh, beautiful hands from Jones. He's been fantastic. Sublime today. Thompson's kick right to the spot. Off hands. Always dangerous. Guerra overran it. He'll get another go at it here. Was he pushing it back? He was pretty close. Umpire invoking the mercy rule on the West Coast Eagles, I think, will bounce 40 metres out directly in front of the St Kilda goal. Have a look at this. It's pretty much in the back.
Yeah, might have helped it along a touch.
Out the ball on his left foot. Kicks it up to the goal square. Milne just holds him off. And it's going to be a free kick for the West Coast Eagles in the last line of defence.
Nikoski gets it there in time to Embley. Interesting with all the chopping and changing on the bench, and James Brayshaw alluded to it. Lee Fisher remains seated. Yep. Embley bounces one to Judd. Cross half back. Chris Judd goes short. Missed the mark though. Thompson. Jones. Inside the centre square. Moving his Milne. He's got it now.
Jones's kicking's been as good as anyone I've seen in a total match for a looking score.
Yeah, look, Eddie, Schwartz was the player that was running past, and he got a bit narky that Aussie Jones didn't handball the ball off. You'll see this here, but I'll tell you the reason why, or he could say the reason why. There's Schwartz, that's the reason why, because he hasn't missed. And he's just cruised across half-back Aussie today and done pretty much what he's wanted, what he has liked.
Milne going at number 3. Distance won't be a problem. Steps inside the 50. That's what he's there for. He's got 3 goals. And the rout continues.
Well, they're up to 19 goals, the Saints. And that's one of Chris Judd's few errors. But look at this. On the left foot, non-preferred if there is such a thing for Aussie. Take your choice of targets. On this occasion, it's Stephen Milne. He could have almost danced around, which would have been his trademark. Dangerous when you jump in the air on the mark. It's Stephen Milne.
So Milne has goals in the first, second, and now the third quarter. And we're to a game high of 59 points with 51 seconds left in his third term. So it's just a tick under 10 goals the lead to the St Kilda Football Club, who continue on their march. The Saints marching in undefeated and champions in the Wizard Home Loans Cup pre-season competition and ready to rack up their 9th consecutive win, their best effort since the 66 season, which resulted in their one and only flag. Powell kicks forward, up to Hamill. Hamill twisting and turning, gets it back to Ball, who goes to ground. Got it back though, and dragged it in. That's got to be nearly gone, and is.
Look at his boots today, Luke Ball. He seems to have fallen over a little bit, which is something he doesn't do normally.
Staker comes out, punched away, but once again, a lot of Saints there. There's the siren, and another winning quarter for the St Kilda Football Club. That one was won by 18 points to make the margin 59 at three-quarter time. St Kilda leading the West Coast Eagles. It's been the all-star cast of Brett Guerra with 5 goals, Fraser Gehrig with 4, Aaron Hamill with 3, Milne with 3, Kaczynski in amongst it, and Rewalt has just been one of the absolute stars with Aussie Jones. It's 19-9, 123 to 9-10, 64. St Kilda easily.
Tuesday, an open mic exclusive, The Secrets of Anthony Koutafidis.
Actually bad for Collingwood, I shouldn't be saying that.
Regarded by many as one of the AFL's greats.
So that freakish ability to be able to do things nobody else can do.
Carlton didn't beat West Coast by a point. Kilda did.
The injury that struck him down in his prime.
Do you feel cheated? Yeah, I think that's the hardest part, Mike, because I know I hit my best form back then.
And Kouta speaks openly about a tough 2003.
We probably just wanted the game to be over and done with and the season over and done with too.
Open Mic Part 1, Tuesday on Fox Footy Channel.
Uncle Mick, is $19,990 a good price for a Toyota Corolla?
Well, love, it all depends on how many Ks it's done and what year.
Oh, it's brand new.
Brand new? A Toyota Corolla? Manual from 19,990 with air. How do they do it for the dough?
It's Toyota's biggest event of the year with top-selling Corolla Ascent still just $19,990. That's class-leading value.
These blokes really do mean business.
Join me in remembering a golden era from the Fox involved, the Stuckers legend. An era blessed with the spectacular. A fantastic mark. An era where tough men hit hard.
Oh, he got steamrolled there.
From the Fox Footy Vault with Ron Barassi.
Wednesday nights on Fox Footy Channel.
The final term of the Dome, and the margin is 59 points. Good bounce, Cox is up. They fight a draw. Noble at the second attempt. Knocked it down towards half forward. Hum somehow stopped it. Powell's in there. Hum inadvertently got the footy. And we'll have a bounce.
We're always looking for motivation when you're a side like St Kilda. For the 8 wins they've had this year, they've not won every quarter in a game yet. And today they're on target to do that, except for one occasion. That was against Essendon in round 2. Looking for their second 4-quarter win for the season.
Cox over the top. Came Embley to assist. Powell, claimed by Fletcher, taken down. Tackle slipped a bit high as we go back to James Brayshaw.
All right, Dan, got to the bottom of the Fisher story. Hamstring tightness is the official word from the St Kilda camp.
I knew you'd do that. Well done. Well done. There's the bounce. Smelled fishy. A chance there for Kerr. Glass. Cox. Oh, well done by Clark. Goddard. Out very wide. Revolt. 75 metres from goal. Goes to the pocket. Gehrig was held again. No free kick. Lynch has got it. Now Fletcher. Left half back. Little chip around the boundary. Comes unglued. Revolt to Hayes. Working in a confined space. And the ball goes out of bounds in front of Jones.
This is Lynch. That's not as bad as what I've seen at a period there in the third quarter. Crazy Gehrig has got, what's he got to his name? 4 goals, 3 in the second, 1 in the third.
4 goals, 1. Powell tries to crash through. Now it comes out to Hayes. Hayes on the left boot, puts it up. Hamill uses his body well, pushes the opponent underneath it. McCoskey's kick was outside the 50, bounces over the line and out of bounds for a throw-in at half-forward flank for St Kilda. That's Brent Guerra. 5 goals for the day. Kicked 3 in the first term, 1 each in the second and third. Hayes, ball, trying to find some room, tackled by Judd. As Dennis said, schoolboy teammates at the Sandringham Dragons. Over ball up at half-forward flank.
And is that Luke Ball's a class act, had a quiet first quarter. He's now racked up 16 possessions, continues to push hard.
They're all holding each other, went up and down and up again. Cox, Fletcher, the centre half forward, now into the centre of the ground. Aussie Jones, just having that sort of a day. So is this bloke. As soon as Jones put his hand up, Grewald ran, Hudson inside, Goddard couldn't quite hold it, Milne fighting for the ball. And they hold it up and we'll have another bounce. 45 metres out from the St Kilda goal. Revolt just took off as soon as that happened, about now. If we were just a bit wider on that shot, you would have seen a blonde hair running.
Why wouldn't
just
you? When the disposal from Aussie Jones has been first rate all day.
Noble goes up, flicks it back to the spot. Guerra tries to invent. Ball still bouncing around. Baker flicks it out. Noble again with the Shepherd and had to pick it up himself. Del Santo, the Shepherd to Ball, squeezes it around the corner to Guerra. It's champagne football and Brent Guerra can line up for goal number 6.
How good was that?
Well, I'll tell you what, Luke Ball. Someone, I'm not sure who it was, but I did hear that someone said he'd win a Brownlow medal one day, which is a massive call for a young man, but gee, you'd be a brave person to suggest he wouldn't. He is a class act and just another one. He's just another one of many.
Guerra kicked 4 last week. He has kicked goals in each quarter, 3 in the first, 1 each in the second and the third. This for his 6th. Margin 59 points. Guerra splits the middle. Goal number 6. Saints by 65 points.
Well, you look at Brent Guerra and you straight away it just doesn't. He hasn't got the classical looks of a footballer, has he? He's he's going a bit light on top.
He's the man-child.
He's a bit of a man-child. His frame isn't classically athletic, but he has just put in one hell of a display today. And that kicking style, he doesn't just get them in. He splits the middle. He's just kicked a lazy 6, and there's time still to rack up 8 or so. So, what a pick-up.
Career high for Brad Guerra, 6 goals. Play restarts and Cox has to wait for that bounce. Fell at his feet. Powell taken by Judd and slammed down, and the umpire will do it again.
A little bit of push and shove here at the minute. This is something that you wouldn't, if you're a St Kilda supporter, get anywhere near involved in.
No. That's a point to it.
Rather.
Plenty of Smith. Phenomenal. Why?
I don't get that out before, you know.
There's Clark towards the wing. And again, a wonderful kick under pressure. Just squeezing it out, assessing it so quickly. Revolt on the wing. Kicks inside the 50, no, just outside. Kozetzky was at Noble. Noble took the mark, laid it off to Jones, who's been pinpoint all afternoon, and that's no exception.
But their pressure and tackling is probably the one thing that I've been most impressed with, but not far behind, has been their disposal. And Aussie Jones, look, both sides has been first rate, as Eddie alluded to. And why wouldn't you if you were a forward? This is what else happens, is when the kicking to a lead has been so good, it encourages you to run. There's nothing more deflating if you're a forward and you keep presenting and they keep missing you, either over your head or short. You keep presenting and they keep hitting you on the chest. It's surprising how much your forwards will run.
Already the Saints have gone 1 point better than their greatest ever score against the West Coast Eagles.
Got a blood rule here. I think it's Nikoski, is it?
Yep.
He's coming off with some blood out his nose, and Rupunda coming on.
Milne is waiting. 5 goals last week. He kicked 5 against the West Coast Eagles, round 10 of 2002. Also here at the Dome. Going for number 4. Every chance to finish with 5 or more. Gives this one a ride. Stephen Milne's got 4 goals.
Well, you got the big tall forwards. You got Fraser Gehrig with 4, and Aaron Hamill with 3, and Nick Revolt setting up about 8 of them. Then you got the medium forward in Brent Wera with 6. And then you've got the small crummy forward in Stephen Milne with 4. That is just beautiful numbers for a forward line coach. And he's kicked well. They've been pretty accurate too in front of goal. 21 goals, 9.
So the Saints continue to add to their greatest score ever against the West Coast Eagles. They now lead by 71 points. They've kicked the last 4 goals and 6 of the last 7. It has been a good old-fashioned belting today, inflicted by St Kilda on the West Coast Eagles.
And a comfortable day in the coach's box, as comfortable as they can be, I guess, with Grant Thomas and his staff.
Revolt tries to get it out, Chick off the ground. Embley thumps it forward for the Eagles. Penny, good tackle by Matera, who's fought on valiantly. Hudson on hands and knees, gets it out. Lenny Hayes. Baker trying to find some space, and now he does. To Ball, twisting and turning, beats a couple, back to Baker. Moving forward. And the kick was turned over though. Cox. The centre half forward. Oh, stretching up Matera. Just flicked out of his hands. Fell to Goddard. Now to the X-Man, Xavier Clark, over the top to Del Santo. Just holding the ball up, Del Santo to centre half forward. Here's a chance for Powell. The left foot kick, a big hoik up to the goal square, is offline. And through for 1 behind his first score of the afternoon. So just under 14 minutes left on the clock, and it's St Kilda by 72 points against the West Coast Eagles in front of a crowd of 30,478.
We're a punter then to bring it in. To himself. Drives it very high outside the 50. Got out the leaper from behind. Fell in front. Clark. Found the path. Centres anyone of 2.
Oh, could have taken your pick all over the place, and Aaron Hamill would make no apology for that, because all he does is set his eyes on the footy. The kick from Wirrapunda was a nothing kick. Just way up in the air, and there was, I reckon, 5 options that he could have gone to then, Clark. But yes, and Nick Del Santo just has a bit of a chuckle to himself.
So, the major players on the forward line, we talked of them before, all coming to the party. Brent Wera with 6, Milne 4, Gehrig 4, and now Hamill 4.
52 goals, 10. Fantastic converting. And that is Aaron Hamill just saying to Nick Del Santo, sorry about that, mate. But once I see the footy, there's something in me that says I can't stop. And he just floated across the front here. Nick Del Santo could say he's protecting. Perfect.
So the Saints with the last 5 goals of the game. 22-10 is their highest score of the season. 142, leading by 78 points. Well, we said at one stage early in the first quarter, gentlemen, that this could be an 80-point game. We're just about there.
Daniel Chick gets one of his few possessions, and a pretty quiet afternoon, just lining up for possession number 3.
And it hasn't been a great day. Daniel Chick kicks it up towards the forward 50, and Maguire, the Goose, takes the mark. And this might provide the golden egg too for them at the end of the season. Mac Maguire's been a great acquisition. Off hands, Del Santo. Just copped a hard one there. Dougal's got plenty of size about him, but he gets up. Just rode it enough, I think. He just, boom.
Turned him round.
Yeah. Or it's just opened the shoulder up a little bit. Slight subluxation. Goddard kicks to the forward 50. Milne. Hamill. Milne. Here we go. The party tricks begin. Can he get around? Oh, he went backwards with a banana to Del Santo. Told you it was party tricks. Gehrig's there. Off hands. Revolts. Keeps his feet. Still keeps his feet. Now he goes down. Where are party tricks? He's got it. He has got it. It's a circus act down there today. Where has got goal number 7.
That's not right. That is not right. 7 goals. Well, when you're 84 points up or 78 points up, there's Stephen Milne, first of all. Backwards, if you don't mind. And then Brent Wera, who's had a fantastic afternoon here. Just have a look at this unfold. McDougall didn't have to, he shouldn't have gone to the ground, but then just, Stewart all lying down.
Well, next week they might charge you to go to training at the Raven. But I think you would. You'd pay. That was some exceptional stuff.
They're still clapping too, the Saints supporters.
Brent Wera lying on the ground kicking the goal. We'll have another ball up, and I think, in fairness to Brent, I may have called him Brad once or twice earlier.
I don't reckon he'd mind what you called him today, Jim.
Well, I think he would. He's got 7. He'll want to keep this tape forever. The people on the west are saying, surely not 2 of them. Wide of the pack, this is Judd. Hooks it down towards half-forward Staker. The grab. The birthday boy, 60 metres out. Kicks towards the pocket. Coming on the lead, Gaspar.
Travis Gaspar started the game really well. Took 3 big marks or strong marks early in the piece, but they've been very hard to come by inside their forward 50 for the West Coast Eagles. Haven't had the luxury of different options. 14-7 marks inside 50 in favour of St Kilda.
No easy kick this one. 10.5 minutes to go. Gaspar slides it across the face. Look at that pack. Off hands and across the line. Every chance it could get out beyond 100 if the Saints are dinkum. Jones, I think they are dinkum. Noble prancing around the outer side, goes down towards half forward. Revolt. The finish from Noble quite outstanding. Revolt looks for Hamill initially, bypasses him now. Fraser Gehrig is down there again. A bit of body work, arm work. A whole lot of things happening. The ball's out of bounds. Umpire only 15 metres away. Let them play.
That is, 12 years ago. 66 points, the biggest win for the Saints. That will be bettered today. It's sitting very comfortably at around 83 points.
Well done. Behind the pack, we're almost. Down goes Hum. claimed by Powell.
So Bob Hawker joined the commentary box there for a minute.
Year 11 maths is coming back to me.
Yeah, 2 years ago it was, I think. All right, let's see if they can inflict a bit more pain on these Eagles. Fraser Gehrig. Sat for him for a minute. Cox to check. Mark taken there by Cousins.
Looked like a mark to me.
Yeah.
Just got nothing down the line. He has not got a marking option down the line.
No one leading up to him at all. Everyone led to the side, if anything.
Could be a free kick, I think, against Ozzie Jones for shepherding out. Gasper's free.
Gasper's free and Material's all on his own.
We're going to hurry up, umpire.
Yeah, very well done by Penny. Penny has done it very well. He held it up for long enough for everyone to get back.
Well, it was well done, Ed, but it was poor umpiring. Yeah, he really needed to ping him.
Gasper kicks up towards full forward. And good use of the body there by Morrison. Just shoved them all underneath it. And Morrison will kick the West Coast Eagles' first goal of the quarter and the first since the 14.5-minute mark of the third term. We've been playing 16.5 here in the final term, so just over a quarter of football has been played since the Eagles have made the goal umpire wave 2 flags. Noble has a spell. Kaczynski back on. As in comes Morrison. Kicked 1 goal for the day. And still has 1 goal for the day. They hurt.
It's been one of those days.
Jones spears it in. Thompson. Clark on the overlap at centre-half back into Mines. That was too casual. Gaspar goes after it with the outside of the boots. Jones got back in time. Well done by Gaspar. Didn't buy the look-away hand pass. Fought his way through it, but Jones so quick. Kaczynski stretching, left half back.
This is where the hard runners come into their own. With just under 8 minutes to go, it's one-sided. There can be only one result. Just how hard you want to run now.
Penny to Hudson, out of side.
And this bloke is the hardest runner of the lot.
He wants to run. Look at him. He took off. He's 70 metres from goal. Sets it up very high. Gehrig gets some separation on Lynch down there. Lynch is over the football. Gehrig's on top of him. Wow. Held in, says the umpire.
Another stat that the coaches love. Lenny Hayes has broken the all-player record for season 2004 for tackles. Up to 12 tackles today. Today.
Great effort. What a return in his 100th.
Leadership, isn't it?
Out of there by Chambers, heads for the boundary line, and the umpire says, throw it in.
He held the previous record at 11.
Well, he's had 19 possessions as well, Lenny Hayes, but you would say that from a statistical point of view, it hasn't had a massive impact on the game, but 12 tackles is, well, Liver would be happy with that.
Yeah, but when he gets it, he kicks it a little bit further than Liver, with all due respect.
Now, I reckon John Morsfold has grabbed young McDougall, who's got undoubted talent, Andrew McDougall. He said, rightio, go and play on Nick Revolt, and you'll get an idea of the sort of running, the sort of work rate that we expect from our half forwards. It's a good idea.
Here we go again. Ozzie Jones. Long left foot kick. He's been magnificent, Ozzie, all day. Oh, Guerra again. He does another trick. No, he's missed. It's actually harder to miss than it was to kick it, I reckon.
What is he doing out there, Brent Guerra?
Oh, shit. Have a look at this. Oh. It's harder to do what he did in the end.
Impossible.
Gee whiz, what a day. Powell gets a kick in the head from Kaczynski.
He won't be happy with that.
No, he's decided somebody else has to feel a bit of pain as well.
I don't reckon he realised that it was from one of his own.
He's opened him up too.
Yeah. He won't like that, Powell. He's a very, very hard man, Stephen Powell.
Bounce it half forward. Kaczynski goes up and knocks it down. Off the ground by Mill, inside the 50. Guerra. Well done, Del Santo. Mill running towards the pocket, snaps it back, and the goal umpire's been connected. And it hit the post, did it? Well, Smith-Dog, wave the flags. That's great. We're going to love it.
Oh, it's not a bad one either. And good on him. He got up. He didn't carry on.
That's admiration.
That's great.
He got the call right as well, I think. 150 plays 67. Eagles work it forward. Spectacularly Bembley. Inside the centre square. Wants to go. Morrison. Fletcher. Confronted. Pushed off the kick. Morrison goes down to find it. Not convinced about this. It comes back to Kerr. That's better. Runs hard. Goes to the 50. Lines up. Long kick. Hasn't got the carry. Not quite. Knocked across the line by Hudson after Schwarz got it on the deck.
5 rush behinds the Eagles in the second half. 6 for the day. Just shows you the Saints, they will just not give up, will they? They chase to the line, they put the pressure on, they get the tall timber back to touch.
Look at this guy.
And they keep running. Look at this. Revolt. Milne lurking with intent under the pack. Almost the mark there to Hamill. Milne was circling. Good tackle there by Daniel Chick. 21 and a half minutes gone, as you can see, ticking under 4 minutes and 50 seconds left in this game. It has been a huge result. As we said, 14 minutes and 12 seconds into the third quarter. The Eagles got their last goal. That was to Ashley Sampi. Haven't seen one since. Aussie Jones. Ices the cake. What a day for Aussie Jones and St Kilda.
Been one of the better displays of ball use that I've seen, I reckon, or that we've all seen, to be honest. He's just absolutely jammed full of confidence, Aussie. And there's not much that he couldn't, or he wouldn't think he would not be able to do on a footy field at the moment. It's been good to watch. It's been one-sided, but it has been very, very good to watch.
So the Saints have got the last 7 goals. Thinking back to round 18 last year, they got the last 6 after getting the first 7. They like getting them on the trot against these Eagles. And off-field, things are very content. Del Santo taken down, bulldogged down by Broad. Over the top comes Brent Guerra, and they've got a ball up.
I was talking to Rod Butters last week, and you're saying how the Saints are on track. They've got record membership this year. Should be able to post maybe 7 figures as a profit as well, which is a magnificent effort for them. Certainly a record profit coming up.
I get the feeling some very good years ahead. Now the Saints get a free kick. Will advantage be paid? No.
They've managed the height too, I think, as well as you can possibly expect, given they're about to rack up 9 in a row.
Kazetsky, but it's coming back.
Amongst other
yes, exactly.
Wanted media attention.
Troy Schwarz is just running Chris Judd down into his 450. I'm not sure they need you at the moment, Troy.
So it's Blake who launches this one inside the 50. Blake was the man who got the free after all of that. Check. Cross half back. Juggles it to his own advantage. Hamill is closing. Ball left it behind. Schwarz an opportunity. Lays it off. Thompson took too long. Coming through Cousins. Fletcher. Forward of half back. Nothing much to go to. Running back with a flight of a Clark. Valiant attempt. Found it down near his feet somewhere. Fox claims him. And the umpire shows some compassion.
Well, you've got to hand it also to the defence as we have a look at some of the top possession winners. And those top 2, well, you can toss a coin on who was best on ground. You've got Guerra as well, I guess, so maybe 3.
There's Jones with a 35-metre handball off his knees tackling. Not that I'm lobbing or anything, Gary. Cousins with Dougal. Hamill's been sensational. Rewalt's in there as well. Still Cousins. Baker's come back to Rewalt. Open goal. Kicks his second and St Kilda's 25th. Up to 94 points.
Well, they want 100. The Saints supporters want a 100-point victory here. That's what they're after. This bloke will do me every single time, Revolt. Aussie Jones been sensational. He has been loose for much of the game, which is not taking nothing away. But this bloke is just, he takes him to the cleaners. I've just watched McDougall try and run with him, and he cannot stay within 15 metres of Mick Levi. Superstar.
And the records are tumbling. Highest score of the season. Biggest winning margin. Highest score against the West Coast. And the biggest winning margin against the West Coast for the Saints this afternoon.
Most tackles for a player too, with that man Lenny Hayes.
Got just over under 2.5 minutes to get another goal and record a 100-point victory.
Knocked down by Cox. Cousins with other ideas, although Hayes pops it inside the 50. We're a bunder. Right half back comes out wide, and Braun takes the tumbling mark. Nothing on. Morrison offers short. Braun flirts with the idea. Now goes for distance. Glass will be the target. Kazitsky came back with courage, and that pack is taking a while to get up.
It's a pretty committed jump at it, wasn't it? With 94 points of margin with under 2 minutes to go on a game of footy.
If the bench had any sense at all, they'd be singing out, no, no, no. Call him out of it. Still, that's the way they play. Sampi with Blake running back. Look out!
Oh, that is just... That's the sort of stuff that says that St Kilda they're not going to sit back and relax and enjoy this.
Staker is hurt. He was coming up.
And Blake, gee, it was a big thud.
He didn't even hesitate, this bloke. And don't forget, this is a man who just missed 6 weeks with fractured vertebrae.
That's incredible. The commitment from both players.
Look at that. That is superb. We talk about Aussie Jones kicking. We talk about Rewalt's marking and running and Guerra's exploits with 7 goals, and we spare a thought for Brent Staker too, who didn't flinch on the way through.
On his birthday.
But to run with the fight of the footy like this, now at least Brent Guerra was able to see what's coming. When you've got eyes on the ball, you have no idea whatsoever.
Including Staker won't be blowing the candles out the cake there tonight, Dennis.
No, or if he does, it'll be very painful.
I think he's got a jumper full of broken ribs at the moment.
Oh dear. So late in the game, we touched on it just moments ago with that ball close to the boundary line. And then after the throw-in, after we saw that hack skittled,
Fletcher got up sore, didn't he?
Yeah, something like that. That was just wonderful.
Having said all that, there hasn't been a thought from Grant Thomas and his bench to go and rest the likes of Revolt or Jones or Gehrig or Hamill or Hayes. I mean, he's just left them out there and said, away you go, boys. Enjoy the afternoon.
Well, I think the genie is out of the bottle, isn't it? I mean, all of Australia knows now how good this team is.
Yep.
Whether they can sustain it, I suppose that's the other question. But with efforts like that, they're going to be very hard to put down.
Dennis, only the 10th time in the history of the St Kilda Football Club, one of the original teams, that they've kicked over 160 points in a match. So you can understand why these fans are excited. It has been a long time coming. But not since the halcyon days of the mid-60s, including the late 90s. I think we all agree that this is a better side than anything that's been assembled since the late 60s. And it's just a grace. And they're only able to get the one premiership, of course, at that stage by a point against the Maggies in '66. But many thought they maybe should have been able to string a few together. Lost in '65 to Essendon.
And the way they're meshing as a team, Ed, I mean, I touched on it before for Grant Thomas. It's just a terrific effort. It's one thing to have talented individuals, but he's getting the work rate out of them. They haven't stopped running. They enjoy what they're doing, and clearly they enjoy playing with each other. And the commitment has been total. Staker comes off on his 20th birthday, less than 90 seconds from the final siren. And Blake's got the footy after what was a terrific mark.
If you're writing all these down, it's also St Kilda's biggest ever score at the Telstra Dome. So it's been a huge day. As you said, Dennis, this is one, there'll be a few people keeping this tape, I think.
I think so.
Name a game will be getting a workout tomorrow. All the St Kilda fans will be wanting the DVD of this one.
So Blake from the half-back line then, and still a man gets free if you don't mind. Ball to Revolt, who takes the mark on the 50.
Wow, that is quite incredible. He's the leading mark taker in the competition, and there's good reason why. Not only is he great overhead, his running capacity is enormous. And McDougall, well, he just wants the siren to blow because he just can't go with Nick Revolt.
So the margin currently at 94. This for a century. He lights it off the boot.
It's two posters. Nick Revolt has kicked 2 goals, 3, and 2 of those behinds have hit the post. So, 95 points. The Saints, their fans are just hanging out for a 100-point victory. Where Punda kicks to the boundary line, but he went near Revolt, which is dangerous. Good play, though, by McDougall. Got up and held the mark. So, 50 seconds and counting.
Spoke to Gary yesterday. He wants his side to go and his young boys to go and watch St Kilda play if they ever get the opportunity because of the running of the likes of Revolt. Something that young McDougall could be well advised to do at some stage, particularly in the finals if they get the chance, which not if, when they get the chance, he should invest in a ticket over here.
Well, we're just about there to the finals already with 9 wins. As Schwartz goes up to Revolt, 23 seconds and counting, last chance, last roll of the dice, up to Big Fraser, Gehrig! Off hands, Mills working, Gehrig's got it, 101! Gehrig's kicked his 5th, they've got the ton!
Well, let's not beat around the bush. We might as well put the icing on the cake and make it 101. 101 sounds so much better than 95. So, you might as well do it. They had no right to get it. We're a punter, should have taken that with him, but we might as well. You just got to declare that they are an enormous side, a phenomenal side.
Well, I think it was just a power surge in Perth. 26-13, 9-14. Biggest winning margin since round 10 of 1998 against Sydney. There might be more. Revolt again, or did McDougall take it? Well, McDougall's paid the mark and Revolt is not happy. There's the final siren.
They want to shut up. Kilda. Brownlow mates on the line here.
That's right. Say nothing. What a win. What a powerhouse performance. St Kilda win 26-13, 169 to the West Coast's 9-14-68. One-sided it may have been in that last quarter, but well worth the price of admission still. We saw some special individual performances.
It was fantastic to watch. It really was. And, well, as you said, there's no secret any longer. This is a side of very, very high quality and 101 points. I thought up to three-quarter time the Eagles were giving a pretty fair account of themselves, but it just got too much. They were overwhelmed. That man, Lenny Hayes, coming back after 2 weeks off, worked his backside off. Jason Blake made a massive statement in the dying minutes. It's a massive victory this afternoon to the Saints, 26-13, 169. The West Coast, 9-14, 68. And there is Nicky Winmar, the man who this cup is named after.
And you can't put the record book down for a moment. West Coast's 5th biggest losing margin ever this afternoon.
Yes, West Coast had 2 goals quarters going into this season, and the final one became their 3rd. And in the end, St Kilda kicked 8 of the last 8 goals of the game and 10 of the last 11 to rout the West Coast Eagles.
Well, the losing coach and the winning coach, not hard to work out who.
I think the security guard's keeping John Worsfold away from his players.
That is a look that if you've been on the other side of it, either as a player or an opposition player, and it is not the most comfortable look of all. But we've got a lot of work to do. It is the Saints by 101 points.